Well. It is a beautiful Wednesday, first day of May. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to First Touch. Dazarin, Roll Diz, and T-Bates here. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. It's a beautiful day out, you know? Another casual Wednesday, man. I'm here to talk about Rocket League and ready to do that. How we doing, babe?
Doing pretty good, man. Once again, we're all just gonna cherry pick off you. It's a beautiful day outside. Already been out there working. First day of May. May 4th is coming soon for all the Star Wars fans out there. And yeah, we're just gonna have a good time. We're just gonna have good things to talk about, great guests, things to break down. Hoping that Demar joins us with the low cut eventually, Raul. Don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Actually, I have a haircut scheduled for today, and I still don't know what I'm gonna do.
So what you're saying is you're gonna get a low tape.
I defer to chat. Chat, are we getting a
You
low?
gonna make Chad pick your haircut?
I hope you don't have random
wouldn't do
people
that.
determining your haircut, bro. Like, what is wrong with you?
You gonna tell you to go bald?
That's the problem with all these Twitch streamers now. They let all these random people decide this is how their lives. You gotta control your own life tomorrow.
Listen, sometimes we let random people decide what goes on the show.
Who?
Look, shit. I don't know. People make comments online. We just pick one. And we're like, let's talk about it.
That don't count.
Champagne says I should grow it out. Listen,
You don't even know who that is.
yes, I do.
Wait, what did you say?
Champagne, like I know him. He's my mod, and he's in the chat.
Oh.
Like I know him I know his first name. We're friends on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn?
Yeah,
I'm not even friends with you on LinkedIn.
yeah. I don't really use it that much, to be honest.
Hmm.
But we can do that. We can set that up. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I read Avatar Cut. I'm done looking at chat. Chat, we got a good day for you today. Of course, we're going to talk about Gen.G. We're talking about Chrome. We're going to have Chrome and Johnny join us in a bit. We're going to talk about Space Station. We're going to talk about Europe for a bit. We're going to talk about Rule 1 being in trouble after their loss. We're going to talk about Snowmen top 4 in North America, how we feel about that. So buckle up. Give us your takes. We'll definitely hear some of them. Before we start, though, Beige, you brought up May the 4th. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Sure.
That's not really convincing.
Yeah, that wasn't convincing at all.
I mean, I don't think I would call myself. I mean, I appreciate the movies. I'm not a super. I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a fan though.
You're not like a Spaceman level fan?
Yeah, like I don't care about it like that.
Yeah, that's valid.
I don't care about like any movies like that.
Hey, all right. Well, I was like, dang, no movies? All right, cool.
I mean, movies are cool, but like I'm not like associated. I'm not
Not
gonna go
even not
cosplay or
even like the Spider-Verse.
Oh no, Spider-Verse is
raving
definitely my
about
favorite
Spider-Verse.
movie.
Yeah, you
no,
love
Spider-Verse
that.
is definitely my favorite movie. That's definitely like Miles Morales. That's my guy. That's my guy.
You know you're a
There
super
you go, we
fan.
found
Do you have
one.
any merchandise
Of who?
of like Spider-Man?
No.
Okay,
I was thinking about dressing up as Miles Morales for Halloween this year though. If that counts.
that'd be cool.
But like it's just for Halloween though. There's nothing else special.
Yeah, I got like a mug. I like Spider-Man a lot. But you know what I like even more than Spider-Man? Gen.G Mobile One Racing.
Oh, we get
That's
into
right.
it like that.
I love Gen.G. And you know why I love Gen.G? Because they keep beating G2. I love it so much. Can we take a look at the Gen.G highlights, please? Oh my goodness gracious. It was fantastic. If you watch Roll Diz's stream over the weekend, he had a watch party. You got to see El Clasico. G2 versus Gen.G. It went the distance. I'm not going to lie. There was emotion, there was passion, there was pain, and there was a lot of beautiful Rocket League goals. Ultimately, though, Gen.G took the dub, and they looked absolutely beautiful while doing it. I'm not gonna lie, G2 played great ball. They played great Rocket League. But Gen.G, they were just there every step of the way. Came up with a 3-1 lead in the series, but then G2 had bounced back, forced a game 7. It was game 7 overtime. What more do you want out of a great
hit that
series?
ball.
And then Gen.G ended up taking a dub. Gentlemen, how do we feel about the Gen.G G2 Grand Finals? Raw, I gotta start with you.
I think it was extremely entertaining. I think this is exactly what you want to see out of the 1-2 of North America. But I've said it before, especially on LAN, I got criticized for putting them ahead of G2 in the power rankings when they deservedly needed to be there, considering that they are now 4-0 against this G2, or they're 4 straight wins. I wouldn't say 4-0 because they were losing earlier, but 4 straight wins against this G2 squad. It just seems like they got them downloaded. They got them downloaded. And going into the final game, I actually wasn't sure who was gonna win, but that's exactly what you expect from a number 1 and 2 roster in North America. It being that close is extremely exciting, and having the whole squad in my stream at the moment, both of y'all screaming, it really was a T-Bates versus Dazzler moment, and I was enjoying every.
I'm just interested how you said you're watching Roll Digit stream. You got to see El Clasico. They could have just watched Twitch.tv/Rocket League to watch El Clasico. And you want to tune in a Roll Digit stream, you got to see the Bates versus Daz. That's what I was talking about.
That's what I was talking about.
That's what you're talking about. That's the El Clasico. Oh wow!
Yeah, because it was Gen.G before too.
Yeah, it was. Remember, but he likes to flop teams a lot. But see, me, I'm always consistent.
Flop teams.
Checkmate Bates. Regardless, this is a great and fantastic series. I mean, we're gonna get Chrome's opinions on. I'm gonna get Johnny's opinions on it soon. But in general, the gameplay, the speed, it was good. It was good on all aspects. Gen.G, they have a little bit more of a defensive approach in comparison to G2. And that was much was on display, but Gen.G's are so efficient in their opportunities. I think in game 4 they had about -6 shots, but it didn't matter because they were just positive. Every single time they did shoot the ball, it was water. Jack right here on the little beautiful shot right there, just to be clutch. Every single moment on the saves, defensively, offensively, every single player was making plays, especially in game 6, game 7. You had the block by mode. In game 7, you had beast mode pre-jumping from across the map, blocked by Abjack and FK on a double save. It was a lot going on here, and you even had Gen.G bouncing back from being down 2-0 in game number 7, having that resolve, having that wherewithal, believing in each other. It was just great Rocket League, and that's really what you want to see at the highest level. These two teams really are two of the best in the world, and that very much, I mean, it's not inarguable at that point.
Nah, look at that first killer drop down. Good block out initially, but Chronic had a good follow.
I remember that on the watch party because me and Roll said it's over, and then he was up, and then Demar said, "Is it over? Is it over?" And listen, I can't repeat what he said on Twitch.tv says Rocket League. I can't repeat on national television, but at that point he might have said something a little bit too passionate, and it was just a good series, man. It was good. I'm happy for Gen.G. I'm happy for Gen.G. I'm happy for Demar. Happy for all the fans of Rocket League as well. Happy for North America because you got two really great teams at the top, just duking it out left and right. Gen.G might have won 4 in a row, but they're close games every single time, and you gotta respect that.
Yeah, you do. You do. Chrome, Chronic, First Killer, Abjack, Dazzler. That was funny. That was a good time. That was a good time. You talk about you not flip flopping. We don't forget about Team Envy. We don't forget about the old machine. Okay, listen. You had 2 teams. I can't have 2 teams.
I started off with Envy and G2.
Okay.
And I've never moved. If Envy and G2 were still here, I'll still be with Envy and G2. Envy left, I'm G2.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that
Atomic
either.
went over. That's where I went.
As soon as Atomic leaves and Mist left, you would have not rooted for Envy anymore.
Yeah, because they were on Optic.
They're the machine.
They went on Optic.
Yeah, I rooted for Optic. I rooted for my boy Mist. I root for my boy Mist now and NRG. I'm not NRG diehard fan, but I'm always gonna root for Mist.
But that just means you got a lot of teams.
No, I don't. No. I'm not like you, man. I'm consistent. I'm consistent. I'm there for the ups and the downs. That's why your camera's flicking in and out. You know why? Okay, I understand that capology you got going on.
Capology. Listen, you're right. Capology. Where's my cap? Throw it on. All right, listen. We got so much more Rocket League to talk about today, of course. But let's address the question in the room.
Wait, when are our guests doing? I'm just confused.
Do you want them to join? We can talk.
After this? I want them to join now.
You want them to join now? Can we bring the guests in now? I'm gonna also reset my camera. We have officially Chrome and Johnny Boy joining the show. Gentlemen, welcome. How you doing?
That's your black.
I know.
Literally.
You only just realized?
It took me this long, actually.
Shut up.
No, we're doing good. Here. You guys talking about nice weather? Yeah, we don't have any of that where I'm from. Scotland. Maybe summer, maybe. I mean, we're 1st of May over here. Yeah, still spring hasn't come yet. We're still in winter over here. So hopefully we're rooting for spring at some point. Maybe by the time summer rolls around, we'll get spring in Scotland.
It's still cold over there. That's crazy.
It's always cold here. It's always windy, rainy, cold.
Oh,
Everything.
it's 80 degrees over here.
That's
like 90 by me.
That's like 28 or something, 28 degrees Celsius or something
that's
like
great
that.
weather right there. That's what that is. It's beautiful.
Oh gosh, Rob,
So it's
how you doing?
27. Sorry, 27. I'll do the conversion for the rest of the world from Fahrenheit.
There you
Doing
go.
pretty good, Daz. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's beautiful. It's great to see you in that Gen.G shirt. That's
I
all
know,
I gotta
right?
say. Okay, it just makes me. It's just such a comforting feeling. But of course.
Let me just get straight to the business here. Chrome, how'd it feel to get lucky against G2 in Game 7?
Lucky.
I mean, is it really luck though? Like we kind of Jack, I think, was called off on Game 6 when he went for that double tap when he got it past 2. Chronic called him off and just happened to touch it. Beastmo got back in time, saved it. We should have beat him there. Should have been 4-2.
Ooh.
So what are you saying?
Ooh.
Listen, I'm not saying that luck. I just want to see your expression, your reaction. It was a great series, Rob G. Listen, you got them boys. You got them coached well over there. You got them coached well. Listen, you got to do it again though. You might have beat them once. You got to beat them 2 more times. They're coming for you. That's all I got to say.
What do you mean? We're 4 straight. What are you saying? They have to beat us. We're in their heads. What are you saying?
Oh gosh.
What are you saying?
Bates has no rebuttal here. You can't say anything.
Hey, listen, we're looking towards land. We're not looking to, beating
Oh.
G2 is fine and dandy, but it's not the end game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to win a land out here.
Ooh. You heard that, Base? Light work. That's what I heard. That's how I like that. I like that. 4 straight wins. I mean, what's there to worry about at this point? I mean, it just feels like it's just another day in the office. Bates, try to do something, please. They might need you back there. Go help Matt. He might need an assistant coach.
Gosh, dang, you talk a lot. You're not funny. You're not funny, man.
Yeah, I heard they were looking for a water boy. I don't know, Tyler. You might need to be there.
Why are you hopping on here?
Listen, if that's that he gets
What do you
paid for, then
mean?
he get paid now. That's all
What
I'm
do you mean?
saying.
Part of Gen.G, part of the squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have Daz's back. You know what
Talk
I'm
to
saying? Can't be switching up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god. Man. So Chrome, we kind of touched on it a little bit when we were talking. Actually, no. Wait, before we even talk about that, we gotta pose this question for the room because we said we were gonna do this first. Is Gen.G officially #1 in North America? That is the question.
Yes, you got 2 biased people already. So let's go to Raul.
They've been. I told you this. The power rankings did not show this to you. I guess we
Johnny
have like
thumbs up.
short-term memory loss. I guess.
Yeah, Raul, you put Gen.G, you power ranked them higher than G2 coming out of the major, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that was a very reasonable and aged very well as well. So yeah, now that I've seen this regional, I'd say yeah, Gen.G #1 NA. You can maybe even make a case for them #4 world after seeing them beat G2 so many times. So yeah, I'd say yeah, I'm happy to get on board with that. Gen.G 4th best team in the world, #1 NA. For now, but we'll see. There's more Rocket League coming up, all split log. Plenty of adjustments to be made.
4th best in the world.
That's just for me, that's just for my best estimation I had. At G2 #4, but I'll put Gen.G one above them now. So G2 could be 5. 2 NA top 5, but they're not 1, 2, 3 yet.
Yet, I like that. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Okay, I'm cool. I'm glad we're on this consensus. Wait, Bates? Yes, no, maybe so.
Listen, I said after this win against G2, I said it on the mainstream on Sunday. I said after this win against G2, you want to power rank Gen.G above G2. Listen, I'm not gonna be mad at it. I think you got a body of work that you can look at. 4 straight wins in a row. That's pretty good. See me? I'm not gonna do that though. I think it's 1A, 1A. That's what I'm thinking right now.
1A.
They're
1A,
both
1A.
1A, 1A. And I'll tell you
Wait,
why.
what?
Because
Why?
I mean, Gen.G, they got the results. They got the results on domestically. They could beat G2 right now, but we saw it in where were we at? Where's that place?
Copenhagen?
Yeah. You saw it in Copenhagen. G2 they made it all the way to the grand final. Gen.G would nowhere to be found. But now they
Well,
do
like,
have Big Rob G. They got
but
Big
it's
Rob
ju-
G, one of the best coaches in the game. So I do expect some land upgrades, some more schematical approaches to the game. You know, Rob G, he knows what he's talking about. His reason he's
But it's one thing though, you can't just skip over Copenhagen and say G2 finished farther in the single elimination bracket, therefore they were the better team. Gen.G beat them in Swiss, and
That's
then
cool.
they took Gentlemates to game 7. G2 lost in 6. And it could have been, could have been 4 or 5 if Gentlemates knew how to close out. You'll get into championship games always pretty tough
Listen.
on land. But I mean, Gen.G overall, you could make a case they were better than G2 at Copenhagen, looking at how they performed against Gentlemates. The fact they beat G2 the one time they played.
Okay, I didn't know we did make cases that they might be better than. Yeah. Who finished further in the bracket? That's all that matters in the end of the day. And then one team finished second, another team.
What if the 4 best teams are all on the same side of the bracket in a single elimination tournament? How many of those 4 best teams can make the final in a single elimination
You know
bracket?
what I'll say to that, Johnny?
1 is the answer. Is
No.
one. You only can have one. You can only have one.
No, Johnny, you know what I would say to that? You know?
I
Okay, I'll
don't know.
answer for you. Okay, I'll answer for you. There's no way 4 best teams are all going to end up on the same side of the bracket, Johnny. That's not how Swiss. That's not how Swiss happens. The 4 best teams in the tournament will not all be on the same side. Nope, it won't happen.
It can definitely happen. Yeah, it can. Because Swiss is random matchups, so you can definitely have some of the best, like the best 2 teams versing each other at some point in Swiss. One of them has to lose. Now you're not a top 2 seed. It can happen. Swiss into single elimination is not a bulletproof format for finding out who the second best, third best, fourth best team are. It's really good at finding who the best team is, though, which is what we really care about. So nobody wants to be the second best team, third best team. Nobody cares about that. That's why we're fine with Swiss in a single. But if you really want to know who the second best team are, you need to do a more robust playoff format than single elim.
Listen, go ahead,
just add on to Johnny's point. Like if we would have beat OG in that game 5, we would have played SSG and would have been on G2 side. So that side of the bracket would have been stacked even more. And we went 3-2. So and we won the event.
Listen,
so Johnny's correct on that point.
I'll go 3-2. Listen, I think the single elimination, it just makes it that simple. It's really that simple. You got to be who's across from you. You got to be who's across from you. You can't make no excuses.
Yeah,
at
nobody's
this point,
arguing who the best team is.
On the international stage, the top 8 teams, you can make an argument at all top. You can make an argument. I mean, some people might make an argument that Falcons are the best. Some people might make an argument that BDS is the best. That Carmi's the best. That Vitality is the best.
Nobody's saying BDS is the best. BDS.
I mean, somebody might make that argument.
There's absolutely
you got 8 legitimate contenders in every single elimination bracket from now on here on out. You're always gonna have 8 legitimate contenders. It doesn't matter. Both sides of the bracket are gonna be stacked. Both sides of the bracket are gonna be filled with great teams. And you gotta beat who's across from you. And
I think if we're looking hindsight, that top side of the bracket had 3 of the top 5 teams, and Johnny's saying Gen.G's 4th. Like looking back at it now, Copenhagen, yeah.
I mean, my top 3 is, Gentlemates, KC, Falcons, and they were all on the same side of the bracket. And now Gen.G's looking like they're better than G2, so they could be stronger than G2 as well.
Why are they looking like they're better than G2? Explain that to me.
They've won against it 4 times in a row. They've won the last 2 events in NA. They beat them in Swiss on LAN when they played. Like the list goes on. Gen.G have outperformed G2 in many, many ways, and I'd rank them higher than G2 right now. So in hindsight, yes, the 4 best teams in the world right now. We're all on the same side of the bracket in Copenhagen, in my opinion.
So I'll ask you one simple question. This is a hypothetical. Now, this is where I think people get confused. And Raul already knows what's coming. So he already knows what answer I'm looking for. I want to know if I'm gonna get the same answer from you. So if G2, I'm not saying G2 or Gen.G are better than each other. I think they're actually pretty equal right now. If G2 had beat Gen.G in that game 7, would you still be saying Gen.G is better than G2?
No.
Off of one bounce, Johnny? Overtime?
No,
G2 triple committed. They took each other out to play.
I mean, I've played that game with you before. Like I've said, Mark Bate missed an open net against G2, the Winter Major 2022. You didn't like that. Didn't like pinpointing one moment a lot back then when it G2 that were.
I think that was for a different reason. I wasn't.
I'm just saying, you can't say, oh, okay, G2 missed a goal at some point, therefore they're better. No, the thing is, like, their overall series record at the moment is 3-2 in favor of Gen.G. If I'm not mistaken, G2 beat them twice, Gen.G beat them twice, and now they've gone and beat them again. No, sorry, it's 4-2 now. It was the tiebreaker was at LAN. So, I mean, if G2 beat them this weekend, it would be 3-3, and they would have the most recent win, and they would have 3 regionals to 1. and they'd have a grand final at Copenhagen. So yeah, I think I'd put G2 ahead of them, which I actually did coming out of Copenhagen. I had G2 ahead of Gen.G, but it was close. They're all kind of in a bunch, like G2, Gen.G, Furia, Vitality. They're all kind of together. But yeah, Gen.G can go top of that pile for now. They got the most recent win. They just won a regional in North America. That's got to be worth something.
Interesting. Very interesting. It's so interesting because it's just because one team can beat one team doesn't necessarily mean that team's better than that team. Maybe they just have a good matchup against that team, but the other team could be better. Like they could be better overall than the other team. See, like there's a lot of ways you can go with this. Right now, what I'm saying is that right now we got 2 number ones in NA. We got Gen.G and G2. I gotta see more. I gotta see more. Gen.G keeps beating them. They keep beating them. Even if they close matches, then listen. Then I concede. I see it clear. But I mean,
you gotta
like,
see more.
There's no way, bro. There's no way.
How much more you gotta see? We gotta be 4 more times.
Got beat 5. Nobody beats G2 5 times in a row, Das. Nobody beats them 5 times
So how many
in a
times
row.
you gotta lose?
Nobody wins 3 regionals in a row in G2's region. We gotta see more. That if the results were flipped, you would be like singing G2's praises. They're miles number 1 in NA. They avenged their loss to Snowmen. They showed up when it mattered most on Sunday. I could already hear it. Like you would have G2 number 1, not close if the results were flipped.
now what I'm thinking is that NA might have 2 top. I mean, NA has a legitimate 2 top 5 teams in the world, which is where you place them. That's what I'm seeing. Right now.
4 and 5, I'd say.
No, it's not
I
4 or
agree with
5.
that.
It's probably 4 and 5. It's probably 4 and 5. Falcons and KC, yeah, like they're inseparable. They played 2 like knife edge series in Copenhagen, and then KC are the only team in the conversation for number 1 with Gentlemates. So I don't think until we see either Falcons, lose a regional in MENA or fall off a little bit on LAN, I don't think you can move them from top 3. They were just so close to KC. Were the dominant force in Europe coming into this most recent major.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Where would you put them, base? Where would you put G2 and Gen.G in the world right now?
It's
Where
hard.
do you
It's
rank
hard. It's hard to rank them. It's hard to rank them. Like I said, I don't think you can really go wrong. Gentlemates won. See, Gentlemates are weird. But I gotta give credit where credit's due. Gentlemates won the major, so I gotta put them 1, I guess. Even though they still haven't won a regional, and so I guess like for power ranking, I don't know. For power ranking purposes, I'll put Gentlemates 1 for now. And after that, I mean, you can do a lot of things.
Okay, what are you gonna do? Let's hear it. I know you're trying to think of a way to get G2 at 2nd right now, but like.
I mean, you can put G2 at 2. I wouldn't be mad if somebody
You
does
can't
that.
put G2 at 2 right now. I'm sorry, no, you can't. There's just
If
absolutely
you can
no
put
way.
Gentlemates at 1, you can put G2 at 2.
No,
It's the same. It's the same logic.
No.
And once again, if G2 had won the thing, then you have G2 at 1. So just because they lost in game 6, they're at 4, they're at 5. Like that makes no sense to me. But I can but I'm following your logic. I'm saying you could put teams in a lot of places. This is why Rocket League is so great right now, because you can really put these teams in a lot of places. KC's not an undisputed number 1. Gentlemates can be number 1. Falcons, you're a MENA fan, you can say Falcons number 1. Or you can say number 3 or something. You can't say number 1, but you say that like 3. You can say that 3. You can even say they're 2. You say Falcons is 2. You can say Falcons above G2. I wouldn't be mad at it. Like you could there's aspects, like there's only so many people that be number 1. I think you could put Gentlemates 1 because they won. And if you really love EU that much, just off the domination, you put KC 1. But also you can put KC 2, 3. You put KC 2, 3, or 4. You can put other teams 2, 3, 4, or 5 as well. So I'm saying like there's a lot of like variance that's going on. That's what's making Rocket League so fun to watch right now, because there's really are great teams everywhere.
But basically, the only teams that beat KC at LAN were Gentlemates to eliminate them and Falcons and Swiss. The only teams that beat Falcons were Gentlemates and Swiss and KC in bracket. They only lost to each other. For me, they're the clear top 3 teams coming out of Copenhagen. Like G2 are losing to like Gen.G. They lost to BDS. They
Gen.G's a
avenged
great
that
team.
loss. They went game 7 with a dodgy looking Vitality. They didn't play Gentlemates as close as Gen.G did. I don't know. There's not really, and forward loss streak to Gen.G. I don't think there's a lot of things pointing in G2's favor when you're trying to put them in a top 3 right now. There just isn't. But if they, can win regionals 5 and 6, okay, now you can start to have a conversation about that. But I don't think you could do that right now. It's the big 3 just look in their own tier right now. The Gentlemates, KC, Falcons tier, and then you've got G2 and Gen.G, probably Vitality in the tier next to them, I would say.
I think you're separating teams too much.
I don't know. Johnny's list is kind of valid. I think I'm a little iffy about Falcons placement overall, but I still can respect the placements. But I mean, at this point, I think the 5 are there, and we're just trying to argue placements for the 5. But I think there's other teams that are kind of like outside that 5, like BDS, and that could probably like sneak in there if they just start doing really well, especially in the near future. So it's just one of those things where it's like right now, all around. But that again. That's why when we go to London, it's going to be such a big deal because then you get to have that conversation answered a lot more. It was just so close because of the way the bracket was set up in the particular matchups in Swiss. But well, that's definitely something we can reapproach. We're only one qualifier in so far for this major split, so we'll see how things develop. Chrome, I want to ask you about something specific to you because, as you know, everyone knows you're a coach, but there's been something that's changed in the way coaches watch the game that have kind of affected. Well, at least we think may have affected what how you guys do your job, and that's the big boost update. And the thing I want to bring to you is how does the boost update affect your coaching? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you haven't played Rocket League in a little while, get on the game. Everyone can see when you play a ranked game or a casual game, you can see your teammates' boost. But if you're spectating in a private lobby, you can see everybody's boost on the field. So, Rob, with that extra knowledge, like, does that affect your coaching a little bit? How's it been in scrims and in RLCS with that?
I mean, if it does, it's very minor because like even for the players, like no one really looks at the boost meter that much. It's more so like a convenience thing. I think if anything, it justifies like if I'm watching from another player's POV, which is what I usually do when I like spectate scrims, is I watch from someone's POV. I could see if my first man has boost or not, and then making sure they're like communicating it to the teammates behind them. But also now the players know that, so they could see it. So it's just making sure everyone's on the same page on like what type of play we're trying to make on offense and communicating it well.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I heard like a little bit of that. You kind of cut out when you were talking,
My
but
bike pad.
yeah, that's
Um,
better. So does it affect anything with RLCS when there's like match day? Are you like we don't know like what you're looking through when you're watching the matches?
well, when I watch Swiss, I watch through the Gen.G stream. Tune into that, by the way. Uh, it's a delay, but I watch pretty much like director cam. But and when I watch the live feed for bracket play, it's honestly I can't even like see the names because the quality's so bad. But I don't. It's not something I look towards when I coach. It's more so like making sure we're making the right plays in the certain moments that we talk about as a team.
Mm. Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Definitely want to see.
It's just a convenience thing and like practice for our team, and I'm sure it's the same for other teams as well.
Yeah, because I forget. I was talking to somebody the other day. I think it was Xpear, and he was talking about how sometimes people, I don't know if it was him or if it was somebody else, but people were talking about how sometimes it's a little different or difficult because you can see everyone's boost if you're watching in scrims, not to like say something or like call that out, or you just want people to like players will think that a player has a certain amount of boost when in reality they have a lot more. And you're just like watching them make a wrong call boost wise, saying he has 0 when the guy has like a full take of boost. But
Oh, you mean when he's like watching the other team's POV
yeah,
and his own team is commenting that this person is, or maybe they're saying that the whole opposing team is a low boost and they're actually not. They're all like managing their boost well, and it's hard
yeah,
not to say something. But so when you're watching in the spectate, you can see everybody's boost. So yeah, I could see how that would be a problem. But yeah, it would be nice if there was a way to toggle which team's boost you can see as a spectator, so coaches could turn off the other team's boost so that they can't, uh, well, they don't have to go to, like Chrome says, player POV to know. Because when you're in player POV, do you see all the boosts, Chrome, in the
I
spectate?
still
Like,
see
can you see?
everyone's
Oh, you
boost
still see
no
every
matter
boost.
what. Yeah,
That's a bit
On the other
annoying.
team?
Yeah.
yeah, you
yeah.
can see the other team's boost.
Yeah, that would be nice to like have an. It would be nice if they added something to toggle that off because
Yeah, that gotta be
that's
turned off,
not
bro.
something you can do on LAN. So yeah, that's not it's not ideal. I mean, like I've heard a lot of discussion about the boost edition. I really like it, but most of the discussion I've heard revolves around it being good for lower level players, newer players, because now they are players who are not going to know and keep tabs on their teammates' boost. Now they just know. But I don't know if it's only useful for low-level players. I think that pros are probably you know, without even thinking about it, receiving a lot of information now that they wouldn't have otherwise had. You know, if two players, one on each team, crosses a big boost pad at the other side of the pitch from you, now you just immediately know who got it because you can see your teammate's boost. Whereas before, you'd have to wait for them to say, "Oh, I got the boost," or "He got the boost." So, you know, even if it doesn't feel like there's a lot of difference, I do think that pros are probably better than anyone, going to be better than anyone at immediately knowing based on the size of the boost circle, how much of a play somebody can make on the ball or what somebody's capable of. They'll just at a glance be able to tell, "Oh, that person's got 25-ish boost. I know exactly what they're capable of now on the ball, off the ball, and make the
Mhm.
right play immediately without even actively thinking." So I bet it's underrated. I think that pros don't even realize how much they're doing based on what they very quickly see at a glance.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's definitely
pros are
underrated
just like
'cause,
very
like,
much. They're just they're just in the flow state. They're not actively thinking about all that. It's probably just
yeah, I mean,
happening
it's
automatically.
underrated too because, like, if you're a second man or third man, you can like tell your first man what type of play you want them to make to benefit the team behind them as well. Like,
Hmm.
if you know your first man's low boost, like, why is he gonna try to beat one where he can just get a 50 back to a teammate, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
for example, something that G2 likes to do is like they know their teammate has boost since they play really close on offense. They like to take the ball from each other too. I see that a lot in like
Hmm.
2v2 rank streams with like the French players, like the Tier and Zen. They just know like when to just like leave the ball for each other. So it's definitely helpful in that sense.
Yeah, I definitely think like there's been some shifts you could see in gameplay just a little bit just based on that update. But wanted to see
Rob G
how
just
that.
trying to leak the G2 strats. Rob G's been watching the replays. He's trying to help all the other coaches out, telling them what G2 does. Unbelievable.
I mean,
He said ranked, bro. Ranked on
it's
stream.
just
No
a
big
normal
deal.
thing to do for every team.
He's got him good.
This is a
Gotta
normal
be
thing to
so
do.
mature and poised.
Listen, Bates,
It's
you're gonna have to come
Rob.
with some more heat if you want to take down Rob G. All right.
I don't know how you take him down, man.
Me neither. You almost got taken down by Space Station Gaming in the semifinals. Let's talk about
Who's
that here
you?
for a little bit.
I'm not a part of any organization.
Sure.
You had me fooled.
Wait, you're not signed to a G2?
What'd you say? What'd you say, Rob G?
You're not signed to a G2?
I'm not.
You do their broadcast.
Yeah, contracted word. It's not signed.
Exactly.
I'm not
You
G2
sign
T
with them.
I'm not G2 T Bates.
You're signed with them.
You were on their announcement.
You're signed under G2 to do their broadcast. You're part of the team.
They flew you out.
No,
Had you,
that's
had
not
you
how that
walking around
contract
Just
works.
like you're
That's
signed
not-
under
that's not-
like
that's not how the
Psyonix, you're
contract
part of the RLCS
Can we
team.
can we say that you're affiliated as a G2 whatever title you want, but an affiliate of some
I don't
kind?
know. Let me look up what affiliate means. 1 second.
Listen, you're biased because
You're
you're signed
definitely
under,
affiliated with
under
G2.
the
bro.
team that you're working with.
Officially attach or connect to an organization. A person or
Yeah,
Sounds about
organization
right.
officially attached
Yep.
to a large body. Officially attach or connect to an organization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you.
I need
That's you.
affiliate in a sentence. Affiliate in a sentence.
In a
Hold on now.
Bates is
sentence.
affiliated
In a
with
sentence.
G2.
Is this a spelling?
Most associations affiliate to a larger organization. So does Tyler Bates affiliate to G2?
Yeah, I think you definitely do, bro. You definitely affiliate.
Listen, if
Um,
you look at your checkings and you see the G2 paycheck, you're affiliated.
Yeah, I hope they're paying you. I hope they're paying you for your affiliation.
That's what we tell them. Doing that for no money is insane.
Listen, maybe I'm just doing pro bono work. Maybe I just do everything for fun.
Oh,
What
we know that's not true.
do you mean? I care about the people.
There's a
You were in
GT
their
super fan
announcement
right now
video too, by
punching
the
the
way.
air.
Just want to throw that out
I was
there.
in their announcement
It's-
video?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
When they
I
announced
was,
the
but they
G2
weren't announcing
roster.
me though.
You were announcing
them.
them.
You were
That's-
announcing that. That does not help your case.
That's like even more official.
They could have chose anybody to do that though.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they? They picked you.
They wanted
Yep.
the best person. They wanted the best person for the job.
That's
Were you
right.
paid for that?
Did any other orgs ask you to do that, or just G2?
I mean, it always came out with an announcement video.
I'm just saying, did anyone else, any other orgs, reach out to see if you would announce their team?
Listen, I'm not gonna put my business out there. Listen, you want to hit me up? Go to
I
Tyler
don't know.
J.A. Base, whatever. Whoever's on the Twitter. Whoever's on the Twitter. There you go. That's where you find me.
Oh, we're hiding, we're hiding the information, passing it through word of mouth. Oh my God. Let's talk about Space Station Gaming, please.
Yeah.
Let's roll the SSG highlights while we get into this one. SSG showed out over the weekend. Big wins for them. They finally escaped Gen.G and G2 in the bracket, but they also, look good too, just in their own time. Everyone can watch this game in particular, where it was a quarterfinal matchup between OG and Space Station Gaming, and you can hear some of the rumblings where people said this is a must-win situation for Space Station Gaming. They've been having the excuse that they needed to show up, but they've been going up against teams like Gen.G and G2. And my goodness, did they take the opportunity and put it in their hands? OG had a strong game one, but after that, it was all Space Station Gaming domination, finding each other in transition, looking really good individually. Chicago Hoxer had phenomenal performances, and LJ is always. And then they ended up going 7 games against G2 after that. I want to start with Johnny here. What are your thoughts on Space Station Gaming over the weekend?
I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. They're now 100% wins in quarterfinals that are not against Gen.G. So good job, Space Station Gaming. I mean, I was speculating last split that they might be the 3rd best team in North America, but they kept getting unlucky with the quarterfinal draws. Regional 1-2, they got very unfortunate with the way that the Swiss panned out. Regional 3, they definitely had themselves to blame. But again, it's just getting Gen.G's a little bit. The one time Gen.G go 3-0 is the one time that Space Station tried their luck going 3-2. So I think this has been a long time coming. I think they're the 3rd best team in North America. I think they might have been the 3rd best team in North America all season long. But now they're finally not getting unfortunate with the bracket.
Chrome, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I said I was surprised if they would have beaten G2 when before they played them, but honestly, I felt like they were the better team. I just felt like when the pressure hit the hardest, when they went to that game 7, they just fell into old habits, and G2 took it away from them.
You hear that, Bates? He felt like they were the better team.
I'm not worried about what Rob G saying right now.
They looked better. Sorry to say that, Bates. It's just LJ was just on one. The shots he was hitting.
No, there we go. That's what I want to hear. LJ had one of his best weekends.
Yeah. But Chicago and Hoxer are stepping up to enable him. Like that's a big factor in that too.
Yes, you're correct. Chicago and Hoxer did play better. I think Hoxer played much better than he has been playing all year. But then LJ in particular, I think he was a man on a mission this weekend. He played some of the best ball. I think he played his best ball of the season. And when saying that, I talked about it a couple of times. It's just how he's controlling the play, slowed everything down. He controlled the pace. He controlled the pace against G2 a couple of those games where it was just he knew what he wanted to do, when he wanted to do it, how he was going to do it, and what the result was going to come from it. And that's exactly what you need from your best player. And when he's playing like that, listen, they're looking good. Now, to say that they look like a better team against G2, maybe in like game 1 or something, but like on the back end, I won't necessarily say all that. Their offense wasn't as prolific as I would like. But then again, I'm an offensive type of guy. I like seeing offense. That's why I could never coach anybody. I'll just tell them to go for the ball all the time.
Did you watch the replays back on your own time?
Watch the replays back? Which one?
That series.
Okay, so
or did you only watch it live?
I mean, I watched it live, of course. Yeah, I haven't gone back and watched the replays.
Okay, I'm saying SSG looked better.
SSG look better. Anybody look better in the replay, though.
What? Anybody can look better in a replay.
Comment,
That's such coke.
Comment.
Why they look better, Crow? Why they look better, Rob G? Talk to me.
They were just not letting G2 be comfortable in the situations that they like to play in. And I think what happened with SSG is just they fell into bad habits, and then G2 just outpaced them towards the end, and they won because of it.
Interesting. So more so bad SSG more so than good G2.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, you have to win, right? So, I mean,
all right. So what was it against you?
But overall, gameplay-wise, SSG looked better.
Oh no. But then again, once again, I think I view Rocket League a little differently, though. I view our Rocket League as more offense. If teams ain't playing offense, I don't know how you can look better. But then other people view it as winning Rocket League, playing consistent, clean, controlled, taking advantage of opportunities. Like for example, so I think that's probably the majority of view of how people view Rocket League.
If your team is playing bad offensively, that's on them, right? Yeah, they can control the midfield and control the pace and everything, and that's how you should win, especially on land. But like, if you're not capitalizing and you're getting counterattacked, that's on you. So you still got to play every facet of the game properly.
Ooh.
Yeah, but offense is a little harder than defense, though.
No,
that's arguable.
That's not like
don't say that,
No.
Rob G. Don't play with me right now, Rob G.
I love this.
You know that offense is way harder than defense in this game.
No.
You know it.
No.
You
It's
know
like
it's harder to shoot a ball
fundamentally
top
based.
corner than it is to
No.
save a ball.
T-Bits, it's fundamentally not, because in a game where you're driving a car, you cannot, stop, move. It's not like we're running about with legs right now. You can't stop and go the other way. You got to turn. And that
Man.
makes it much harder to play in tight quarters than an open play. Open play, much easier than tight quarters. Defense is tight quarters, attack, open play. So like fundamentally, in a game where you are driving and flying in a car, it's easier to be an open play, which is generally where offense is played. But I don't know. This is like some advanced copium that you've been using for some years now. Is to say that the offense is too hard and that's why your favorite team's losing. I'm like, G2 is one of the most defensive teams right now. Where like
No, they're
compared
just
to
great at defense.
South America, compared to Middle East, compared to the best teams in EU, the G2 are leaning a bit more defensive. And
No, they're not.
Oh, they absolutely are. Even in Regional 2 last split where they beat Gen.G, they were the more defensive team. So I don't know where you're getting this from. That G2 are some like offensive-minded team. They're actually like quite risk-averse with the way that they play, which it's not no problem with that. But to say that it's harder to play G2 style is ridiculous. They just rotate deep, pick up boost, and come back into the play all nice and comfy with as much boost as possible. Like that's not.
It's not what
It's not
everybody
awkward
does.
play.
What is this driven line statement? Rob G, you disappointed me. I just cannot believe you said offense and defense is arguable.
When you're playing, bro, like when you're playing in your own half of no boost and you can't see all the angles that the other team can see because they have a wider perspective of the field, and the offensive team can play defense from midfield technically while being on offense, like that's the correct way to play, right? But if you're doing it wrong, that's your fault. And G2 were doing it wrong in certain moments. They got punished for it.
Rob G, you have all the boost in the world and somebody can still save the ball and just hit it to the corner with 6.
Okay, maybe you shouldn't just shoot it on net.
I did shoot it on net. They saved it. And then they go and get the 100 boost because it's right there. All it takes is one flip at this level.
Then you shouldn't be shooting on net then.
Okay, I shoot above the backboard. I already have one on backboard.
T-Bits,
Why are you shooting at the person on the back wall?
What I'm supposed to do with the ball? They have one in net and one in the backboard.
Rob G. Why you getting them a free ball?
Rob G, I went to the corner. I already took their boost. Then they have one just collected pass.
This is why I play professionally. You play TRL.
Oh my god!
Trust me, I think I know.
Oh my god!
Sorry, Bates. I had to do it to you.
Rob G.
There's a reason why Roldiz doesn't argue if he played the game at a professional level.
I'll just be sitting there.
Rob G. Listen, just because you were a pro back in 1965 doesn't mean you did anything. Now listen. Now listen.
That's fair.
First off, and you know what that's called? That's called an ad hominem. You know why? Hey, then you had to take a personal attack rather than actually talk about the game. Because Rob G, you know I know ball.
You do know ball. That's
great.
correct.
I know ball at extremely high level. And if you actually believe that defense is easier than offense at the highest level,
it's subjective.
Rob G, your team in game 4 shot the
let's
ball
relax.
0 times in a span of 3 minutes. 0 times. And G2 had pressure for 2.5 minutes. You can go and check the game 4 replay. And they shot the ball on y'all consistently, and y'all had no boost. And all you had to do is hit the ball into the corner, and you just keep playing that way.
I agree. We stole that game. But they trolled their offense. I think Dan bottled a few shots. Like that's still not G2's fault though. It's not our fault.
Oh my! They trolled their offense. Stop playing with me, man. It's
you didn't watch the games.
You know, no, you should have heard him through the games. You should have heard this man because he kept saying, "Oh my God, Gen.G, they're sitting in the net. They're playing kumbaya defense. They just won't leave." But then when Gen.G puts pressure on G2's offense or G2 and G2 are playing defense like they're fighting for their lives, then he's like, "What? No, this cheese. This is cheese. What? No, G2. They're not playing defense. They're playing Rocket League. That's what that is." He refused to admit that his own team was playing defense and it was helping him win games because it didn't fit his narrative. This man moves goalposts as if he's in charge of a soccer field. I'm sick of it.
There's not a Rocket League player or team in the history of the game, even at like many, like pretty much any rank, that have gone into the game and said to everybody, "Right, guys, let's get in our positions in defense. You defend the net, you defend the backboard, and I'll like cover the infield pass." No team has a defensive gameplay. That's not the positions teams want to be in. Like attack is like the meta, always has been. Getting into attack is where teams are most comfortable. You play ranked on stream after this, and like we can watch ourselves how uncomfortable you are anytime that you're in defense. So that's not just you. That's everyone. Nobody wants to be in defense. Nobody. It's not comfortable. it's much more comfortable to play Rocket League in attack. Much easier to, have that, ability to make a mistake and still have some space to recover. You make a mistake in defense, it's in your net. Like, defense is hard. I don't know why this is
Well,
still a
oh my,
discussion.
what is this point? Ugh, so I can talk about this all day,
I'm
Johnny.
saying
It's
you're
not
saying that
about whether
you're
people
saying
want
defense
to
is
do it.
easy.
It's
Why
that
are-
it's
why-
that Johnny, what do people naturally fall back on what they're more comfortable with? People want to play offense, yes, but they're gonna fall back on what's easier, which is defense.
But, like, why-
I can't
no,
compete against you on offense.
teammates.
Look at all the heat maps in the world. M80's camping the net. NRG's camping the net. SSG's
Cloud9.
camping the net.
And they
all
didn't
camping.
win,
Cloud9's
did they?
camping the net. You know why? Because defense is easier than offense. They
No,
can't
because
produce the
they
offensive
played-
firepower that the
T-Base,
G2s
you've
and the
just
Gen.Gs
listed-
bring.
No, listen, you've just listed like old NA,
Gentlemen's camps the net.
RLCS and X
Actually,
teams.
no.
No, they don't. No, they
Oh.
don't. That's a ridiculous statement.
Gentlemen
No, they
plays a
don't.
lot of defense. I'll take it, but they don't care that they play a lot of defense, though. There's a reason they won 96% of their games by 1 goal because they're consistent. They're perfectly comfortable sitting
They
there in the
have better
midfield or
spacing
sitting
than
in the
every
back
team.
third and playing solid 50s, solid defense. Again, the counterattack being extremely efficient with their counterattack. Extremely
See,
efficient with it.
again, where you get this, like, I think Gentleman's probably scored like a goal on the counter attack in this grand final in Copenhagen that I can remember. 1 goal in game 1.
Well, that's
I don't really remember any of their counter attacks. They were just attacking. They were just passing. They were just.
They had
they were
the best spacing of any team. Their
Yeah,
midfield
they were
control
just
is
50ing the ball straight to
undeniable.
teammates. Like they were just the teamiest team. But I mean, we don't need to get into specifics here. I'm just saying generally, if defense is as easy as you're saying it is, every team would just be trying to play defense. So, like, give the other team the ball, let them attack us, let them overextend, and then we'll counterattack them. Nobody does that though, because it's hard to do that. It's very hard to stop highly mechanical players right now. If Zen's up
In
in
a
the air,
1v1?
air dribbling with a flip reset, you're going to need more than 1 player to stop him. That's
why you got
that's a
3.
good trade. That's a good trade for Zen's team because he can go past 1, go past 2, maybe even go past everybody. Like, defense, not easy in this
Then
game.
why have
Bro.
the goals per game in every single season RLCS been going down every single time, even though people are getting significantly better at offense than they ever had been? Why?
But that's not an argument for defense being easy. That is just
What's
an
it
argument
for?
for players being better because now players are faster. That makes the pitch feel smaller, which
Exactly.
makes the goal feel smaller. But that doesn't mean that teams are starting to play more defensively. No, they're still going with the same hyper aggressive style, put pressure on the other teams, and that only gets exaggerated on LAN.
Oh my
Watching
gosh.
and you can't like
Kill
watch an NA regional and then say that's how Rocket League is played because that's how NA plays Rocket League. That's not how the Rocket League is played on LAN. It's not how Rocket League's played in EU, MENA, or South America. Like, NA's got their own little meta going on. Always has. Probably the most defensive meta in my opinion. But it's not to say that it's easier to play like that. I think it's playing Rocket League in hard mode to sit in net and make a million goal line saves. That's tough. That's tough.
Oh, yeah, I talk about this all day. Oh, it's crazy how y'all say this. Oh my gosh. Oof.
That's tough.
Well, you should know better. Based, what's the quote for sports? Like, defense wins championships.
They do.
Just think, bro. You gotta play good defense.
I know you got to play good defense. And listen, the great teams, they play great defense. I respect the heck out of it.
Yeah.
I just don't think in terms of 3v3. Now, you want to say 1v1? I'll say defense is harder than 1v1 because, like Johnny
I
said,
just say Rocket League.
but in Rocket League, 3v3,
3v3,
defense is just easier. It's just you need less boost to make a play. All you gotta do is hit the ball to the corner. The offense has to be so precise. The fact that you can hit the ball from your net to the opposition's net. Now, like already, like the field wasn't even made for people to be this good. It just wasn't. The field has not changed. The game was never made for a Zen, for a Daniel, for an Abject, for a first killer. It's never made for any of these people. So the fact that they're just so talented and they know how to manipulate the ball to the best of their ability, and the fact that you don't have to be precise on defense. You can just go to a corner to your teammate. And on offense, you have to be precise. There's no mistakes that can be made on offense. You can make mistakes on defense and still get away from it. Just that core fundamental difference between the two.
I mean, sure, if you're up against a team that are just overextending and like bashing their heads against the wall, that'll be easy. Yeah, if
Beast mode
facing.
pre-jumped from the right side of the field in game 7 all the way to the left side of the field. Pre-jumped it so early, shot the ball top left corner, and Abject barely touched it, and first killer smacked it. Saved. He just flicked at it. And Beast mode was precise, and they just need to touch the ball. And the ball then catapulted outside the net. Defense is easy, man.
But that's not the end of the attack. It's not the end of the world. Like, if G2 are playing well, they could continue attacking, which is like you're just trading. I think you're viewing the game at a very moment by moment level in all these examples you're giving. You're just saying this looked like it should have been a goal to me, and it wasn't. Therefore, defense is too easy. But you're not viewing like Rocket League as at a macro level in that case, because if you view every attack, every save, every shot as a trade of boost, a trade of momentum, a trade of position, then you'd realize that, just because it doesn't go in the first try, just because a shot doesn't go in the net, doesn't mean that the defense has won that exchange. You could still be under a lot of pressure. You could still be getting demoed on your recovery, having your boost stolen. Like you need to look at like which team is actually profiting off of that play. Was it actually because defense is easy, or did the offense just play really, really dumb? Did they just hit the crossbar on what was essentially an open net, and now the counterattacks in their goal? That's not hard offense. That's just a bad shot. Like we need to be able to distinguish between the two.
I mean, that shot was good, I will say, but that was just a crazy save for First Killer and Jack.
Just because you just gotta
And
flip.
That was incredible.
That's not
You
easy,
just
bro.
gotta
First
flip.
Killer,
Yeah.
what First Killer does defense is not easy. That guy blows my mind, and he always has with his
Oh my lord.
defense.
Just
Yeah,
a
but
way
that-
of
Hey, so
processing
you gotta
it.
look at it, but they forced out 2 on that save. Like they should be applying even more pressure.
Yeah,
They can
that's the way
recover in
that's
the
the way I
half
see
a
it.
second, Chrome. You know how
What you
fast people
mean?
recover nowadays?
Doesn't matter. We exerted boost. 2 people exerted boost to get that save. Doesn't mean they're gonna
Yep.
be
Rob
on
G,
the
how much
attack immediately.
boost? Rob G, how much boost you need to save a ball?
Not a lot, but
Not
still,
a lot. Not a
doesn't
lot. How
matter.
much? How much you say? About 12?
Doesn't matter.
Maybe
If you're,
t- maybe
if you're
10.
playing your offensive properly, you can make plays off the other team being low boost.
Yeah.
A person can't get an aerial with 20 boosts. Like it's just not happening.
Yeah, you take the ball where they can't follow. Like eventually, a defense, no matter how well they're saving the ball, eventually they're going to run dry and boost. Somebody goes up in the air. Someone else just harasses on the ground with bumps or pressure or demos, and then a goal is coming. Like good patient offense is going to result in a goal against the best defense in the world. There's nothing really you can do. Offense will win. It's always been the case. It's always been how Rocket League
Yeah, I
should
agree
be
with that.
played and is
Offense
played.
usually wins. I agree with that. But the offense needs to be more precise and better than the defense.
I
It
would
has to
disagree
be.
with that. I would disagree.
Okay, that's where, and I think that's where we just disagree. That's just where
Okay,
we
well, can
disagree.
we agree that SSG is a top 3 team in North America?
I
Yeah.
do.
I agree. I agree with that.
I guess I could put them there, maybe.
Who would you
I mean,
have
who
there
else?
instead?
Who else would you put like instead of them?
I think
if,
OG's pretty good. OG's beat them. But OG's been beating them. They beat SSG beat them this time.
Yeah, aren't
Yeah.
they 1-1 on the season?
They're
against each
1-1,
other?
yeah. They're 1-1.
SSG or OG beat them in Swiss in the last event of last split, and now SSG got the revenge with a pretty comfortable win. So I'd say SSG for me, number 3.
OG
OG
swept
can be
them.
number 4 though. Yeah, I know it's 3-0 and 4-1. It's three.
So they're both
three good
comfortable.
difference. I mean, one's in Swiss, one's in playoff. The playoff
Oh my
matters more to
gosh.
me. Yeah, one was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So I'd have to say SSG, but OG could be 4. I think OG could be the fourth team. I'm a bit hesitant. I know we'll talk about them later, but I'm a bit hesitant to like skyrocket Snowmen up there for now. Although they are very impressive.
Interesting. Raul, you said SSG top 3?
Yeah, I have them top 3 for now.
All right. Chrome, you with that too?
Yeah, I put him third. I'm trying to think of
Alright.
any other team that could be third right now, and it's. I feel like they were consistently better than every other team below them.
Interesting. Okay. I like it. I'm with it. All right. Let's move on to Europe. Which EU team is winning the next major? Gentlemen set to begin their major defense this weekend. Well, you want to start this one off?
Yeah, which EU team is winning next major? I think we have a couple choices here, but EU team. Will it be an EU team? If I had to pick one, I think it's gonna be Carmine Corp. I think they're gonna bounce back.
Yeah, you got them on the screen right now. I feel like that's some foreshadowing. There they are. I also say Carby Corp. Yeah, I think this is going to just make Vatira even more angry. The fact that they lost in Copenhagen and that he didn't have the best event is just going to make him mad. So we saw it in LA. You know, Vatira after losing in the grand final of NA. Well, it wasn't NA. In LA, he was the best player the next event. So I think KC for me probably going to be on the revenge arc. Gentlemates regionally have struggled. So I although I was super impressed at the major and I'm willing to put them number 1 for now, I think KC is going to take that spot back.
I think it'd be super symbolic if they win in London, just because of not only the last time they played there, Moist ended up taking the win, but also for the fact for Atto that Team Liquid did play there. That was
They
like
did,
his
yeah.
first one. That was his first major event, and he lost to Moist in that lower round 3 and 5. So be interesting to see now that he's playing with Rise of Atira. They end up taking it there. So I feel like it's set for them to win. So if I had to pick EU team, I'll pick a KC. I always like KC. Rob, what are you thinking?
I mean, yeah, I would probably say KC if they were to win the LAN for EU. I would choose them. I wouldn't choose Gentlemates. I think
Cutting out Rob.
Vatira really wasn't looking the best at this event, like he usually does. I don't know if it's because of a playstyle thing or what was going on, but he just did not look comfortable at all on that team. I think it kind of like punished that team against Falcons and Gentlemates.
So I just okay. Chat can hear you, but we can't hear you on Discord.
Okay.
I think your threshold might be
That's Discord. Okay.
too high in Discord, but chat hears you just fine. I had to type and ask them.
Is it better now for you guys?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. You're chilling now.
All right.
I think the threshold is just cutting out your lows. Bates.
Give me oxygen.
You're out of your mind, right? Like, there's just no way, man. You just love being different, bro. Like,
He does. Over who? Who are you taking out to make
Oh
room?
no, I'm not saying that oxygen. I just said oxygen just because y'all are just gonna say Carmine Corp. But in terms of reality, I don't know. I don't want to pick a team. I just thought this.
I would love to see Oxygen make it though.
I want to see Oxygen make the land, and then Oxygen makes the land. You never know what happened to that boy Joy or Archie, and that big man Large Oscar, bro. That big young man boy and Oscar. So like, I mean, it's just they look good. I mean, they look good. They look good on paper. So I really don't know if they're gonna win the major, of course. If I had to pick a team to win the major, I'm gonna go with the squad that just did it.
Gentlemates.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like it's disrespectful not to pick them. They beat everybody. They beat. And as much as like I like, it's a style that I don't like watching. You get one goal, and you know they got clamped down that midfield. They got play 50-50 ball. It might be boring as ever, but it's effective, and I gotta respect that. I have to respect that, but and I understand. I even bring up the numbers. I think it's a little ridiculous that they got away with 96% of their wins or something along those type of lines, upper 90s percentile winning by one goal. But that's how they play ball. That's the style that they brought in, and they're effective, and it works. I think that is always going to work. I guess no matter who they're gonna play, I think that mechanics, as we all know, mechanics go down. They're not as precise, not as clinical on land settings. And gentlemen, they don't need all that. They just play clean ball every single time. We can hype up Carmine and all that, but you gotta think about Carmine. They had some incredible shots to beat Falcons. They had a lot of breaks. They had breaks throughout the qualifiers during online, and they had breaks in the land too. So they're great and talented, but I don't think it's a for sure bet. And I think that everybody, when they pick Carmine, I think they pick us. I mean, you got Rise, Vati, and you got Atto. I mean, that's a great team, but I don't think I've seen anything from them that just indicates that they should just go in there and dominate. Matter of fact, I think they have a lot of close games. So I'm gonna go with the team that just won it, but it could be any of them.
Okay. Well, this is interesting now because you did bring Oxygen to the conversation. I think that it's definitely fair to give Oxygen credit, talk about him a little bit. I made fun of Oski the other day. He came to my stream after Gen.G had won, talking about NA or EU's just gonna beat NA later on. I said, Oski, make a major. I can't repeat his response, but that being said, let's open the door to this conversation. Who will represent Europe in London? Is Oxygen a big threat here to the top 4 that we currently know? Roll this. What are you thinking?
Are they a threat? Yes. I think Vitality is looking a lot more shaky than they ever have been before. I think BDS with Monkey Moon's injury, I'm not sure how he's going to bounce back from that. So I think Oxygen is a threat here into peeking into that top 4. I think we're forgetting another team as well. Not Magnifico, Luna Galaxy now is also another team that can poke into this top 4. But I guess we'll see. I would say yes, they are a threat to that top.
All right, but who's your top 4? We gotta do early top 4s here.
Oh, well, Carmine Corp, Gentlemates, 100%, and then I'm gonna put what?
You say 100%? Like the team?
Oh no
No,
no 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 no
Genomates.
no
Oh, okay.
no oh no 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 no
That's
no.
confusing. I didn't catch that actually.
Are
Yeah,
they
there is a
still a
team
team?
called 100%.
Yeah, they called.
Oh
Yeah.
okay. Well, my bad. I'm still rooting for them because they kind of surprised me last split. But all right, Genomaze, Karma Court. I'm still gonna root for BDS. I think Drolly and Exotic are two dogs, and I think Monkey Moon's not gonna fall off that hard. So I'm still gonna have BDS in that third slot, and then Vitality is the only slot that I think is shaky, but I cannot count out Zen as the best player in the world still. So I think he's still gonna be represented by the same 4 teams.
Mm.
Yeah, I got the
Mm.
same 4. I got to see. I mean, the gap was visible last split, so yes, Stroyo I think is a phenomenal addition for Oxygen, but I can't see that bridging the gap alone just on paper. Yeah, it's going to be so tough to break into that top 4. I mean, Gentlemates were the team that looked like they were, vulnerable, and now they've won the LAN. So I think yeah, the same 4. I think the same teams probably the favorites to make London. It's up to every other team. It's up to Luna Galaxy, Oxygen, even Jobless. They've grabbed Ixo, Resi and Oli have grabbed Ixo. It's up to these teams to prove that they are actually at the level of the big 4. Until they can do it, I just don't predict it. Don't predict it happening.
Mm. See, I said earlier we had this talk a while ago on the show. I think I said that it's the safe bet is going with the same 4.
hmm
I think I'm gonna bring Oxygen into that equation. The question is if I don't if it's between BDS and Vitality, but I'm gonna I'm gonna say Oxygen will take a place over BDS. That's mine. So I have Vitality, Oxygen, K Corp, and Genomates.
What's your thought process behind it?
I think it's just with of course the things that happen outside the game with Monkey Moon, but also I think even like in the game when we go back to kind of like the BDS series against G2 at Copenhagen, I didn't really necessarily like what I was seeing from them there. And I think that of course, they have like a stronger potential, but I just don't know. I just feel more confident in Oxygen playing well and probably taking that like upset if they were to play BDS versus BDS being on that consistent pace. I think it's easier for me to go with Oxygen in that aspect.
But my argument is, how has Oxygen even shown consistency?
Well, Oxygen haven't really shown anything with their lineup yet.
I'm saying like the 2 players that we know about.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
all
would
3
say
players.
I would say Archie and Oski have been pretty consistent over the course of things.
And what?
Just like their individual ability, if that's what you're talking about. What consistency are you looking for?
Well, I'm just looking for consistency in terms of like, I don't see them playing at a consistent level to completely outright beat the top 4 consistently. I think they can peek into it. Like they can probably upset a team, but I don't think I have them consistently beating them enough to make a LAN.
I mean, Old Oxygen ended up beating Gentlemates when they were in Swiss. We know that they could compete up against them. Last time they played BDS, I'm looking at Qual 2. It was a 4-1. And then Qual 3 is the one they had to make a run, but they ended up finishing out top 8. So they had 2 top 8s and a top 4.
But the problem was like yes, in Swiss they did. First event for Oxygen didn't go too well, losing out to Endpoint. But yeah, they took BDS to Game 5, and then event 2 they got the quarterfinal or the semi-final, I believe. But they lost 4-1 to BDS. It's when they're running into. This isn't just Oxygen; it's everyone who faced one of the big 4 French teams in the playoffs just got completely stomped. Did anybody take more than a game even? In any of the, I know in the first event they didn't. It was 4 1s and 4 0s. And then in the last event, yeah, it was 4 0s and Magnifico got 1 game. And in the semi-finals of event 2, Oxygen and Magnifico, nobody even took 2 games off any of the French teams in playoffs. So yeah, Swiss maybe playoffs, really hard to see. There's just a different level when you go to best of 7 and put timeouts into the series.
Mm, that's valid. Definitely valid. I don't know. What do you think, Bates?
I don't know, man. It's like I'm on the show just to be a contrarian, or maybe it's just because everybody's just such a unit. It's just so boring in the way they think, and maybe just how society works. Everybody you just get conditioned to all think the same, and so
How's
when
it
people
boring?
people
There's
think
the
different, they call you a misfit, or they call you a loudmouth, or they call you something else in between. That just like it's just like 'cause you're not conforming to the way it's supposed to be. Let's just be real here. I respect my boy EXO, one of my favorite players to go talk to. The great Rocket League player. That boy Joyo is simply better. He's simply better
careful.
at Rocket
He's
League,
gonna
man.
hit you. He's gonna hit you. He's gonna
No,
clap
nope,
back in a
nope,
post
nope,
game
nope.
interview.
Listen, EXO wants to message me because I said that Joyo's better than Rocket League. Now I'll tell my boy EXO and go grind it and become better. Cause I'll tell you, bro, I don't say EXO are playing bad unless he's playing bad. I say I always give him his props. But he claims that he don't listen to nobody.
Yeah, he
So
don't care.
regardless, that's not here, you know, there.
Yeah, he's not listening
Joyo
right now.
is a more mechanically talented player than EXO. I don't think that's questioned. In terms of how they process the game, they might be the same. There's little intangibles type aspect. I don't necessarily know how Joyo's going to look on this Archie Oski team, where he's going to fit in, how they're going to implement their game plan, their game style, whatever they're trying to achieve. But to act like if Oxygen on paper is a legitimate top 5 team, automatically, SS up there. You got Luna Galaxy as well. You got that Chronic coming back. You got a Chronic and Atomic. Everybody knows the talent that Atomic is. He hasn't had the results. Well, also he's not playing with Dorito, so I mean that automatically gives him a buffer. And then you got Tox. Tox is also a good player as well. So to say that these 4 teams are just gonna be the same 4 teams until proven otherwise, I mean that's just like a simple statement that anybody can say. I think it's very. I think like for
Bates.
example, I say I'm like for example, I bring up Genomates earlier. I really do think Genomate's style was so consistent that they just be able to translate that once they're on land. If they end up ultimately keeping up that same style, what they worked on, what Everstacks have been preaching, what Itachi and them implement to that. But that's a very land-based style. They might not work online. There's a world where Genomates doesn't make the land, and I wouldn't be surprised by that. I would be like, oh wow, there's no way. Like I can see a world where that happens. It's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to be at the major. Carmi, like I said, Carmi's a great team. It's not foregone conclusions. Well, I probably say they have the highest chance to make the land out of all teams because I think they're just best on paper. I think they're the best online team in the EU, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're just gonna make it.
But Bates, I've
Go
got a
ahead.
question related to that then. So I mean, you don't like the consensus top 4 EU being so unanimously considered the top 4, but you're okay with the NA top 2 being unanimously considered the top 2
Okay,
in
there's a
NA?
difference between the two. You know why? Because EU just has better teams at the moment. Point blank, simple. There's EU. I look at the teams on paper. EU's got, I say at least 5. I'm throwing Oxygen in there, and I want to see what Luna Galaxy can do. I really want
But
to see.
do you not think SSG are as much of a threat to G2 and Gen.G as Oxygen are to the big 4 French teams? Like I
No.
think SSG are probably quite close to Oxygen in level.
No.
So I would say that if
No.
you're going to put all of the top teams, that's G2, Gen.G, and all the EU teams in kind of the same like level, they look like they're the clear top 8 in Copenhagen. I think SSG are just much of a threat. The only difference is they're not a threat for like a major spot because it's top 2, not top 4. So you could say it's a bit more pressure. I just don't think there's a problem. I like that there's a consensus top 4. I actually do like that. Finally, we've got a situation where we don't just have 1 or 2 or 3 big teams. We've got 4 phenomenal teams. And yes, I think the other teams do have to prove before I'm just willing to throw them in there. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like SSG is just as much of a threat to G2
No.
as Oxygen are to any of the EU teams.
What?
Yeah. And I don't think they're much of a threat, for the record.
That's crazy.
I don't think I think that
That's
it's
crazy.
possible. It's
That's
possible they
crazy.
can win, but I don't think that it's likely. I don't think the odds would be too good. I just don't. I need to see it to
It's the
believe
best
it,
team
'cause
Joyo's been on since OG Moist.
I mean, maybe the Rise Astral roster made a major final.
They made that despite all their internal issues. That's just crazy. That was a great day of Rocket League for them.
So when G2 made the final, it's second best team in the world. When they made the final, it's no, forget about it. Not worth anything. I mean, you can't just discount it completely. I wouldn't put Moist at that point second in the world, but it's not completely worthless. They did eliminate KC and make the final. Fair play.
My boy Finland, they didn't think they were gonna make it to the bracket. He said that
Yeah,
at the
I'm
land.
aware. Yeah, I heard that as well.
Exactly. And that man Finley already had 1 foot out the door. G2 doesn't have them issues. So Moist making all the way. That was great for that. They pulled that off. That shows the potential of that roster. But no, in terms of cohesion and everything, no, not a chance. This is Joyo's best team since OG Moist. And I think it's just disrespectful to say. Like I can see a world where I don't know. It's a couple of them, man. I wouldn't be surprised to actually make it. I don't know who they're gonna make it over if they do make it. I think any of those teams could drop. But I really wouldn't be surprised.
I mean,
if
no one's
one of
saying
these
it's
French teams not there.
impossible. No one's saying it's impossible. Swiss in a single elim, maybe the French teams could get unlucky and draw each other and eliminate each other like a whole bunch of times. It's possible, but it's not likely. I think we can surely we can agree it's unlikely, and it's a bold prediction to say Oxygen will make the major.
I don't think it's bold.
I don't think
I
it's
think
that
it is. I think
bold.
it is bold.
I don't think it's
I think
bold.
it's
That's what I'm
bold.
saying.
I think it's super
and that's
bold.
the
I don't
point.
think
Like
it's that
you could say the 4 teams, the French teams are all the best teams. You could say that, but then to act like it's a bold for Oxygen to beat them, no, sir.
Yeah.
No,
I
it
can
is,
see
and
it.
I'm giving you credit. Hey, if
We ha-
Oxygen make the major, then credit to you. You've made a bold prediction, and you were right.
How is that
is
credit?
really cool.
They have a great team.
Credit to you. It's still a bold prediction though, because there's levels to this. Like the Big Four have separated themselves from the pack.
Levels.
We haven't even seen them play.
Yeah,
You don't
Oxygen
even know
have
what
not
they
played
look
a
like.
competitive game. It's
on paper.
speculation to say
I
that
don't
they're gonna
know.
just
I
break
don't
it.
know. I
I
don't
didn't
know
know.
if
They're
I
just
like
basing
that.
it off
I didn't
the
realize I have to see
names.
people play. I didn't realize that's how Rocket League works. I gotta see how people play. Like what? Like what? I'm pretty sure when that Gen.G team formed, I think everybody said, "Oh wow, they're just gonna dominate." And that G2 team formed, "Oh wow, they're already the top 2 teams." And look, lo and behold, they are. Wow, shocker.
But that's because
Uh,
everybody had new teams. Every team was new, so you have to like speculate. But now there's an established top
when
four that
Carmen
haven't changed
formed,
anything.
were people saying that they weren't gonna be great?
When Genomates formed, did people say they were going to win a major? No.
I think winning a major and just making a major are 2 separate things. I think people did have them making a major. Now, calm down now.
Oh, okay, bro. I'm almost positive that people were doubting this Genomate squad more than any
Yes.
other team.
People below me.
Also,
in this
and when you look and then and then when you look
collage
at the
of
Genomates
premise.
on paper, which team on paper looks better, Genomates or? Well, I guess
Clearly, that doesn't matter if we're looking at the major.
He said I can't say that.
I had to stop myself.
can't
I
say
really,
that.
right.
Were you
And
gonna
I
say
remember Seiko's
Genomates or
RLCS
Oxygen?
world champion.
Oxygen.
I
Genomates
had
or
to stop myself. I had to stop
Yep.
myself for a second.
Relax, calm down.
The argument didn't make any sense right there, so I
They
wanted to
got
retract that.
5
I-
international wins
I
between
want
them.
I wanted to retract that statement. But basically what I'm saying is that's a great squad, man. I don't think it's that bold. I think you got if you want to say the top 4 is there, they're top 4. But then after that, I really do think Oxygen's a really great squad. I think Luna Galaxy, like they're really more question. I want to see what they do. I think they're good on paper, but I want to see them perform. I have no question in my mind, no doubt in my mind that Archie, Oski, and Joyo will be contending for top 4s in EU every single qualifier. Every single qualifier.
Thing is, we said the same thing when Rise was on the
No
team.
chance,
When Rise
split.
joined Oxygen, it was a clear top 3 team in EU, and then they didn't do anything. So that's what I'm saying. We need to wait until we see what happens.
Hmm.
No rebuttal
mean,
against that.
I think, I might ruffle some feathers here, but I think knowing what I know about Oxygen and Luna Galaxy, I think they're the teams here that aren't gonna play scared against the top 4. I think that they really genuinely think that they can beat them, and I feel like that's gonna show on the field. Now, I understand everybody else's sentiments. Chrome, actually, we didn't get your thoughts on this. What do you think about all this?
I mean, I think T-Base brings up a good point. Playing well online versus LAN is different. Like, to be honest, I didn't really think Genomates could win an online regional because play online is, I don't know. I feel like you're allowed to get away with like the plays like KC can get away with versus on LAN. I feel like they'll get punished more so because the pressure's on. I don't think Genomates is gonna win an online regional in my opinion. I think they'll get close like they did last split, but Bates is right in the sense that I can definitely see BDS or like even Vitality not make it either. I think Oxygen, I think they upgraded massively. I think they can squeeze in. It's hard to say all 4 teams will make it in too because I feel like EU's always been volatile in that sense with like Swiss and everything. Like we're always gonna get that one team that squeaks in.
Yep. I mean, think about Gentlemen's last time around. Like Raw said, people were doubting them. Bates had called them the floater from heaven, and now they end up winning a major.
The floater from heaven led to them winning the major. I don't know what to tell you. The points add up. They don't get the floater from heaven. I think were they playing a tiebreaker or what they would? Oh, never mind. I think they still would have been up 1 point, 1 point maybe before a tiebreaker. The floater from heaven helped out a lot.
They would have been up. No, wait, it might have been a tie actually.
It might have been either a tie or it was 1 point they didn't get that
tie
floater
with
from heaven.
Magnifico.
If you look at the last split, Gentlemates got second place their first regional, and they got 5th through 8th the next two. So like it's
Yeah.
possible for them not to get like a top 2 and then not make it just because they get 5th, 8th 3 times or whatever, or barely squeak into
If
a
they
top
get
8.
if they get an SSG situation where they just draw like Carmine Corp in every single quarterfinal, like then yeah, maybe it gets a bit more complicated. Because when the French teams are playing other French teams in the quarterfinals, half the French teams are going to lose, and that opens the door for other teams. But if you're asking me, who would I take? You know, Blan is on the line, Gentlemates against Oxygen, or any of the French teams against Oxygen. I would take the French team right now. I think they've earned that from me, and I would put all my channel points on it because that's how good they've all looked. And it's not just right now. The French Rocket League teams for a few seasons now have just separated themselves from the rest of the pack. Everyone else is playing catch up, not just in the EU, but around the world. Everybody's playing catch up, making super teams to try and close the gap, and the French are still winning. So I've got to back them. Got to back them. That's I always hear like there's various people in the community saying it's disrespect not to give them their dues for various various teams. Like sometimes I'll come out with a take about a team, people call it disrespectful. If anything disrespectful is saying that the French teams won't qualify for London with the records that they've all had this season against non-French teams in playoffs.
I could understand that. I wouldn't think of it as disrespectful because it's like, how do you
No,
you
I
gotta
don't
give the
either. Like I think
credits
it's
to-
dumb to call it disrespectful. I don't know why
Yeah.
people call me disrespectful for saying G2 is going to lose a series. I think it's not disrespectful. It's just a prediction. Like calm down. But I think it's a bold prediction to go Oxygen. I like it honestly. I like to see bold predictions. So I'm not. I can't make it this time. I like to make bold predictions when I can think of a world where I can say it reasonably. But here I can't. Like I'm just so big in the French teams. I just can't go against them.
Big on the French teams, Johnny. You're also big on the MENA teams as well. And one MENA team is in trouble for more reasons than one.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the on the field. Rule 1 right now. Losing out in, I believe, quarters as we take a look at the MENA Grand Final highlights. Falcons and Twisted Minds ended up meeting in the grand finals, and they definitely put on a quality show. I mean, Twisted Minds look really good with the addition of Ahmad, and we don't see Rule 1 here. And this could mean, based on the where Rule 1 has lost, it could spell trouble for them going to London, Johnny.
Oh, for sure. I think this Twisted Minds squad looked like the real deal. They took Falcons all the way in the grand final, and they looked like a level above the rest of the competition, going 3-0 in Swiss. Meanwhile, Rule 1 losing in Swiss to Bravado, losing in the quarterfinals to R8. They didn't even play Falcons or Twisted Minds, and if they did, they'd probably lose, looking at how all the other series went. But yeah, Ahmad, after being benched by Rule 1, just seems to have used that to fuel him. Yeah, SMW has always been a super respected player in the Middle Eastern region, so not surprised to see him doing well. And yeah, you got Mawson as well. You saw what he could do last season with the Twins. So this is it's a squad that remind me of Gentlemates. Nobody is saying that coming into the season that any of the Gentlemates players are best in the world, best in the region. Then they go and win a major. And I'm not saying that Twisted Minds are going to go and win a major. Don't get me, don't mistake what I'm saying here. But they don't have a player that everybody's thinking, oh yeah, that's your Rawas, that's your TRK, that's your Killiers, that's your Naupo, your best player in the region. But they are all very good, and yeah, they look like the real deal. Easily for me, the favorite to make London.
Ooh, favorites.
Yeah, these two teams in the final, favorites to make London already.
Okay, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Well, we got the Johnny point here. I mean, Chrome, do you watch a lot of MENA?
I mean, I watched Rule 1 struggle against, what's that team's name? The one with Bazo on it, and I think they lost him in Game 7, right?
Yeah, that's
They almost reverse
R8.
swept, and yeah, R8, that's the team. Yeah, man, I don't know, they didn't look good.
Yeah,
I feel like
it was
it's
rough.
Twisted Minds' turn to take over that second seed.
Why did Ahmed leave? Did anybody know? Or did he get kicked?
I'm assuming he got kicked.
I mean, yeah, Rule 1, they didn't have the result at the major that they wanted, so making a change makes sense because they're obviously not just trying to be second best team in MENA. They want to have a chance to win events, and they want to have a chance to go deep in tournaments. So making a change isn't that surprising. But yeah, I think some people are saying that they expected Khaled to be the one to go, and they decided that it was Ahmad who needed to go instead. And I don't know if that was stylistic or if that was just personnel behind the scenes. I'm not sure, but they've made a call here. Grabbed Venom, who does have some previous experience playing with Naupo, and they've had some success actually playing with Naupo in a couple seasons ago, Spring Split. So not too surprised to see him being acquired, and maybe they thought, okay, well, if you're going to have Nightfall and Venom in a team, we need Khaled instead of Ahmad. Whether that was the right call, who knows? Maybe they would have been just as rusty with Ahmad on the team. But Twisted Minds look good. That's for sure. Twisted Minds look very, very strong.
I'm with it. I think that this trend will continue. The way Twisted Minds looked in that event, and also, I mean, even for Ahmad individually, you go from getting kicked into that situation, you're placing Senzo, who end up just retiring, and then you get into that spot, and then you end up making the most out of it. I feel like that's something that could carry on into the future. So I could agree in that aspect. We see Falcons Twisted Minds here. Bates, are you with that too as well?
What, back in London?
Yeah. Do you think Rule 1 is going to make London?
Oh, I don't know. Let's look at the points. Yeah, I mean, it's really just about the points.
I feel like it's so hard because like only 2 teams make it, and Row 1 got a 5th or 8th.
So the points right now is 2016 to 8. Oh, they're 8 points behind. So let's do the math. So let's say Rule 1 ended up getting second every single time. So let's see. They'll get 16, that's 24. Oh, no, that's not bad. 32. That would end up 40. And
Second
then
2 times would be enough. Yeah, that would do
second
it.
2 times would be enough, right?
Oh,
Really?
actually,
Even
now in
even
this
if
new
Twisted Minds
split,
gets 2 top 4s.
would that be a tie now with how it works now? Because yeah, the jump from 3rd, 4th to 2nd is 4 points, and the jump from 2nd to or rather from 5th, 8th to 3rd, 4th is also 4 points. So if Twisted Minds got top 4 twice, and Rule 1 got 2nd twice, I believe that would be a tiebreak.
Let me see.
For the majors box. They're up 4
40,
points right now. Twisted Minds are
28.
sorry,
Yeah, it's
they're up
tied. It's
8.
40. It's 40. Yeah, it's 40 40.
Yeah.
40 40
It's just
easy.
like the points display are like tie break magnet. It's like 4 point jump, 4 point jump, 4 point jump. We are gonna see tiebreakers this split somewhere, surely.
So I'm just going off the points. I mean, I can see Rule 1 still finishing second a couple times. The question is, can you see him winning a regional? And I don't see that happening. I think Falcons are going to win every single one of those. So
Yeah.
if it comes down to it, I think the only really way they would probably, I mean, they'd either win off a tiebreak or if they'd win by maybe a bad Swiss and then run into Twisted Minds, or Falcons run into Twisted Minds or something early on where they only get 8 points.
Mhm.
It really comes down if you believe Twisted Minds versus Rule 1, who will win that 1-on-1. And I don't know. Who wins that. I gotta see more. I gotta see more right now. I think Twisted Minds look good in that first one, but in this little volatile region, I think every region, I think we can get caught in like just watching one. I think Rule 1 played solid at Copenhagen. I think they can really translate that right back to the
Did they
online
though?
regionals.
Did they? I was not impressed
did
by Rule
not.
1. They lost
I didn't
to
like it.
Power. They dropped a game to Elevate. They did not look like they were really gonna have a chance in any other series they lost. I was not impressed. I could see why they would have made a change, because they did
would-
not look as good as we thought they would, losing 3-0 to G2, 3-1 to Gentlemates. I mean, actually getting a game off Gentlemates might be their best result that they got. That's probably the best series that they've got on record here, because they're only
Power's
win.
good.
That was their only decent series, I think, too. That they looked like
Yeah. Then
competitive.
they dropped a game to Elevate, who actually didn't look as strong as I thought they would look, losing to Pioneers, and then no games against G2, losing to Power. Rule 1's when your best result is getting a single game off Gentlemates, that's not good. Not good for Rule 1 in the major.
Yeah. And this also opens up a wider conversation, because if this continues, like we continue with this trajectory of how these qualifiers are going to go, Rule 1 might not make the world championship. Twisted Minds is 10 points behind them currently. So that just takes a major qualification right there, doing solid in Swiss, and then boom, you booked your ticket to Dallas or Fort Worth. So
Yeah. Yeah, split 2
mm,
is worth more. So if you can, I mean, well, Rule 1 didn't really get that many points in Copenhagen as well. So yeah, if Twisted Minds can make LAN and they
yeah, they got
finish
6.
9th, then they're good. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make the world championship. So it's very, very possible that Rule 1 But they've got to get their act together. They need to make this major if they want to be safe.
The pressure's on. The pressure is on. So keep eyes on that. I mean, it's on around the world though as well too. I mean, when you look at that wider conversation, the rankings, we're calling SSG a top 3 team. They're 5th right now in the standings. But if they have a good qualifier 5, then they move past LG and OG, and then again, this is one of those things where the major, you're looking for the teams to qualify for the major, but this also does go into the World Championship qualification. Things just feel feel shorter, and I know like a lot of us are kind of used to the whole fall, winter, spring kind of vibe, but no, it's actually a lot closer and tighter than it's ever been. So yeah, not a lot of time to get things together for sure. But a team that has kind of gotten things figured out is Snowmen, at least off the start. Snowmen finished top 4 in North America. They ended up taking down Cloud9, Gen.G, and TSM as they really kind of showed up and showed out. We're gonna show the Snowmen versus C9 highlights here real quick, just to kind of get a look at it. And again, this is one of those things, we kind of talked about the defense from Cloud9. They had they are a very defensive team, but Snowman's offense was just really good at breaking that team down, Bates.
Snowmen's, I love them.
They're trying to break the crossbar on this play. My goodness, but they eventually got it in.
Listen, all I'm saying is that Snowmen's a team that actually plays offense, and that's why they were successful. Most of these teams don't play offense because they can't. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to go back to the argument again, man. I'm just saying that's the reason this Snowman team did it. They're out here balling on offense, man. They're confident in themselves. Look at these goals. Look at this. How'd they score right here? Look at this demo. Oh, no, mind. Are they even scoring right here? Oh,
Lion Boys missed the ball.
That was such good offense right there.
Yeah,
that was great offense right there. Actually, look at this goal right here.
Defense is so easy here.
Reset down to the pass. Had to get a demo on the backside. Look, not my fault. Person being a bot.
That was good.
I mean, that person needs to challenge the ball. What else did I say? Just challenge the ball. You're okay.
Well, his teammate got demoed behind him.
Listen, if you don't want to challenge, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta get the ball in your net.
Percy had full booster too.
I know, he didn't do anything.
2v1 reset.
Look at this. Cloud9, they can't score on them. Snowmen, they're controlling the midfield. They're keeping up the pace. They're putting the shots on. You got to do it. Look at another offensive possession right here, huh? Or is it a counterattack from... Oh, it's a counterattack. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Terrible counterattack. Awful. Nobody wants to watch that.
I don't know. Defense looked pretty tough there. I'm not going to lie. The scramble back really not coming
What
through.
is Percy doing?
Whoa. What's going on here?
That's just really good offense
Oh
there.
my God.
Whoa, we need to take a look at
That was just
NPC.
a
Percy
really great touch
allegation.
there and got it over him.
Is that
Look at this. Look at the
Off the
offense right here.
ceiling?
Off the ceiling. Great pass. Demo. Look at that. Look at the execution. You know,
That's
1, 2,
just
3.
really good offense there,
Everybody
too.
touched the ball. That's great offense right there. That's a great offense. Look at it. Scribbles off the wall. Down low. Too slow. Reveal. Bottom corner.
That's just bad defense, Bates, as well. Like,
Oh, yeah. Listen, I know that's terrible defense. Cloud9, listen. But I mean, the more you play defense, the more you're gonna subject yourself to playing bad defense. It's just what happens.
exactly, yeah. That's Cloud9's strategy, and they got
Chile
punished
could
for
get
it.
better at it with more practice. They could improve, no?
No, I really do think there's just like a peak on how good you can get on defense as a team. I think there's there's like a cap. There's a ceiling, I should say. Now, in terms of offense, I don't think anybody's reached that. Nobody's reached playing perfect offense, or like really close to perfect offense. Nobody plays perfect defense either. Regardless, the Snowmen, I like the pressure they put on teams. I like how they're confident, and that's how they were successful.
Can they do it consistently though? Is the thing.
That's the
'Cause,
question.
last split wasn't too good for them. It was what was it? They failed to make one of the main events, and then I think they came 9th once, 11th once, or 12th or something.
Yep, after
So yeah, if if they're making one top 4 run, that shows that their peak is there. But where's their floor? Their floor could still be very, very low. But I'm hoping that they can ride the momentum of this. I hope this is kind of like unlocked their true potential. Because I love watching them play. They're a very exciting team. A team with unquestionable potential. They definitely have the potential to be a top 4 team in NA. And I've got a question for you guys. If you were gonna put Snowmen into an international competition, I know we're looking a bit ahead here. They should not be thinking about this now. They've got a couple more regional events to worry about. But if you're going to put them in there, do you think Snowmen would have a better chance of like making a deep run, like grand final kind of run, than a team like OG or LG teams that were at the
Yes.
last event.
Yes,
Rob
for me.
said yes instantly. Why?
I mean, we saw LG and OG on LAN. What did you guys think? I didn't think much of them, and I think Snowmen, like, they impressed me the most. Like during Saturday and Championship Sunday, like they weren't nervous at all. Like they came out with their game plan, confident as ever. And I feel like they didn't have that type of confidence last split because it was obviously the first split. But they have like a demeanor of their play that they're sticking to, and it doesn't feel like the nerves are getting to them so far.
They got the
Hmm.
15-year-old buff. So yeah, I think so.
The 14-year-old buff in Scribble's case, right?
Yeah, they got a buff.
Yeah.
The 15-year-olds don't understand what they're doing. They can't process it. They can't realize where exactly they are in their lives at the moment, how successful they are. So they just find everything to be a game, and that's why they always are so successful. So yeah, they have that buff. Because the pressure's really not on them because they're not even getting paid by anybody right now. They don't have organization pressure. They're just playing for fun. They're just playing for kikis, ha-has. I do this. So yeah, I think they'd be successful because they play offense and they're confident and they want to go for it. I think they'd be more successful than SSG are at the moment. But they play offense and they're confident and they go for it. That's just the way I look at it. I just know that they're gonna score.
I don't know about the SSG part,
Too
but
many
I
teams
agree.
too many teams in NA. I'm not confident they're gonna score.
Yeah. No,
It's because their
go
ceiling's
ahead.
not there. Like Snowmen have got the ceiling, they've got the peak ability to make a deep run, to do to actually do some damage to world class defense. But some of the other teams, they lack the firepower. I think LG and OG clearly lack the firepower in Copenhagen to actually. I mean, LG got a couple games off Vitality, but again, when we're talking about like teams like Rule One, LG, and their best result is taking games off, better the Gentlemates or Vitality in a loss, like that's not good news. So I think yes, Snowmen. I have more faith in them being able to actually beat some of the best teams in the world, the big eight, the top 8 teams at Copenhagen who establish themselves at a different level. I think they've got a better chance to do that, but they've also got a chance of going 0-3. Like if their floor from
Yeah,
last split said it didn't go by.
I was gonna say, I think if you put them in the same situation as Luminosity were in, like there's a chance they exit the tournament faster than Luminosity did. Like if we're just talking about like that first round matchup, they play Furia. Furia comes out, Furia's faster than them, better mechanically than them. That kills the confidence so quickly. And then if that confidence is dead, like I think for Luminosity, the reason why I probably give them a little bit more credit is just because they were able to kind of bounce that back because of like Rel's Magic Bear. I think Cheese was very nervous initially, but with all of them, the young kids being like nervous or like coming in and taking a hard loss, I don't really know if they would have it in them to bounce back after that. So
I mean,
that's
Yeah,
they're
that'd be
super
tough.
mechanical too. I wouldn't say Fury is that much more mechanical than them, in my opinion,
Oh,
yeah.
than Snowmen.
That's all, man.
Oh, Fury is that much more
I
mechanical.
said I
than-
wouldn't say Fury is that much more
Oh yeah,
mechanical
100%.
than Snowmen.
Yeah, you're right about
Yeah.
that. You got a question. Snowman got the skills, and that's why. 'Cause they just have that ability. They have that sauce. Like I know I'm missing something when I play the game now. Because I'm just not threatening no more. I don't know if I was ever threatening, but I definitely ain't threatening no more. I'm kind of useless. I'm kind of useless
You
out there.
were
in the
threatening
field.
when you had T-Bar on your team.
Yeah, see, I think so.
I'm
back
very
in
threatening with
defense,
T-Bar. Anybody can be threatening with him though.
See, like, this
Anybody-
it's now dawned on me why you think defense is so easy. Is because everyone you play looks pretty easy to defend against you, bro. Like you
You
gotta
understand
like.
that? You understand that I really only play like 2200 level players?
I don't think so, mate. So,
Yeah, I
like,
do.
shall we-
Because I
shall we-
only queue with
shall
T-Bar.
we-
I
Oh, okay.
might
Oh.
solo queue.
Oh,
I might
okay.
solo queue just to mess around. But in general, if I'm actually playing a game, I'm a queue with somebody.
Right. So you'll do a quick rank check on
Oh,
TBX
my rank
here.
check.
Let's
I
see.
got a good about 400 games probably. Actually, do I have
400
games
games.
this season?
You got 207 games. Nice
Hey,
1700.
nice. 217.
Like,
207 games.
You're double. Yeah, Grand Champ 3, Div 1. Like
Am I
nice,
really?
nice job there in 2v2. Grand
Wow.
Champ. Grand Champ 2, Div 2, and 3v3. I mean, looking at that, you could probably make an NA regional. Like you're not far off. I saw Rizzo nearly do it, and he's a similar rank. So yeah, you could probably pull it off.
That's insane.
Well, first off,
Who knows? So like maybe the Turbo Sheiks will be LF1 after this event. Who do if it goes bad for them? Like
I'm
they're
not trying to play
a
with
new
them.
third, some guy who just
I'm good.
retired, and that could go anywhere. Any two ways. They've got big shoes to fill with Rizzo leaving the roster.
I'm just first off, my rank. Listen, I can very easily be SSO. That's not a problem. Getting SSO is easy these days. But and for second off, back to what I was talking about. Johnny just had to bring up the rank tracker. No, I'm saying yeah, like you really got to have that extra little sauce in your package now. You got to be able to create in the sky, and that's what makes offense like so special. And it makes like Frosty, Scribbles reveal like all three of them. They really do have the mix, and as long as you have the mix, I
Mm.
think that enhances people's capability on offense. And I think a lot of teams now, I think a lot of players even are. It's kind of like in a wishy-washy area where they know how to play the game, but they can't do what they can't do what their mind wants them to be able to accomplish. So, and I think that holds people back. If LG had the mechanics of Snowmen, they'd be a top 3 team bona fide without question. But they can't do that. They have for real one player that can really hop in the sky like that. That's cheese. Magic Bear's got really nice mechs. He's mechanical, but he's not as mechanical as like Frosty and them. And then my boy Slater. Slater's got on a scale of 1 to 10, he's got good mechanics, but they ain't like Frosty mechanics. I don't know where they're at. And I don't know but you know what I'm saying? But he just knows I play the game. So that's why I'm like more confident in them scoring than I am in like other teams scoring. I feel like it takes less for them to have to score. Like LG, I feel like they have to just bring everything. They have to execute the whole game plan. When I'm watching Gen.G, for example, I just know first killer can just do it for him. Abstract can just do it for him one time. Chronic can just do it for him. And like all three of them can do it for him. When you have all three, you have a higher chance of being successful.
Interesting. Someone from chat asks, are Snowmen more like a mini team Liquid or a Queso Moist?
We need to stop with these
Why
comparisons
can't they just
so
be
early,
Snowmen?
man. Yeah, we need to stop. That's like so much pressure. You can't be comparing him to Moist just yet. I mean, the Queso Moist transition was easier to see coming than this one was. I remember the first regional that Team Queso won in Europe. Like we as a talent team and with the casters in the European show, we predicted them to win after their day one showing. So, that was much easier to see coming. Looking at some of their like they were what, 9th, I think, in Europe at the end, or maybe even more at the end of split one. And yeah, we can't be. That's too much pressure to put them on that level. Like, I agree with debate. So let's just let them be snowmen. Let them develop. Let them gain experience. And yeah, you could wait a bit. Wait a bit. We'll start making those comparisons farther down the line. When they could win a regional, then we can start talking.
Fair. Now my next question is why were the Snowmen so successful? Bates is kind of reliant on offense, and just their individual ability. Chrome, do you kind of like agree with that?
Yeah, I mean they're playing confident with each other. The decision making, like the way they play offense, is they're working together really well. And I think that they really have a developed kickoff too. They have multiple different kickoffs that are like hard to read, and I feel like they get a lot of pressure off kickoff, and that's what helps benefit their play style. And at the end of the day, they trust each other by the looks of it. I think in that Cloud9 clip showed they missed like 3 open nets against Cloud9 in game 1, then eventually scored. Like they still trust each other.
What do you think is different from this to now? Like, what has changed? It's still the same players, but do you
I
think
think
they're
they're
like
more developed. I think going into your first split as a professional player, you're just playing and hoping things work. But I think that they've had a few coaches come in and out and giving them the confidence that they need. And then on top of that, they've been scrimming against the top teams more, so they know like what works and what doesn't. I think it's just experience at the end of the day. So
just experience? I mean, I can see that. I can see the role. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is experience, but I think the biggest thing that Chrome touched on was trust. Like it just seems like they all trust each other a lot more than maybe they previously have, and that grows with time and experience with each other and working through the scrims and obviously going through replays and everything. I've insider information. They are open to criticism on each other, so that also works well within the team if you guys are all in sync and able to criticize each other, knowing that you just want the best for the team overall, then your team is always going to improve in that factor. So when they have that down and they're 3 young kids that are as hungry as they are, I mean, it's just a matter of time before you see this type of success from them.
Okay. Now we had Snowmen in the top 4. Time for our next topic. Will this top 4 represent North America and London? Snowmen, SSG, Gen.G, G2. Rob, I want to start with you. What do you think?
what's the question again?
Top 4 from this first qualifier or open qualifier number 4. Snowmen, SSG, G2, Gen.G. Is this NA's top 4 going into London?
Honestly, I hope so. I would love to see Snowmen get their shot at playing at an international stage. I think the other teams, playstyle wise, they just lack it for LAN. I don't think that type of playstyle that these teams are playing is going to work. And then on top of that, they're not showing consistencies online. Snowmen have a confidence to them that a lot of teams don't have, in my opinion. So I
Johnny,
really genuinely hope they make it.
Johnny, I'm going to you next.
Yeah, I mean I agree. I think Snowmen do have they've got a shot if they can hit their ceiling on LAN to go farther than any other team in North America, but outside of the the top 3, which Gen.G, G2, SSG. Yeah, I think Gen.G, G2, SSG, they all make it. I think they're the top 3 in the region, and I'd like to see Snowmen have their shot. I think LG and OG have had their shot. They didn't do too well with it, so I'd like to see other teams get a shot at it at international comp. That being said, I do still lean a bit more towards OG personally as being that 4th team, because Snowman last split they did struggle. So one good event, that's great. They really did have a great event. But I need to see if they can do it consistently. Can they do it again? And then we can start putting them up there, because they're 4 points ahead of OG right now. 4 points. So I think OG last split they got better and better throughout the split. If they could do that again, I think that for me right now they're the favorite to go back to LAN. I wasn't impressed with Matey coming into this event. I thought maybe they'd be the 4 team, but they, not being able to get a game off G2 is just not good enough. So I'm off of Matey now. I don't think that they're going to be there. I think maybe OG to me look like they've got more of a chance to make that run.
Well, you seem like you were nodding with Johnny the whole time.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I said exactly word for word what Johnny said. Like, I would love Snowmen to make it. I just don't think right now is their time. I said they would make it next season for sure. I have more faith in them making it next season than this split. I think this split it will be really beneficial for them, but I don't see them making it. I think I'm more excited with SSG and OG for this split.
Bates?
Gen.G, G2, and the other 2 are still question marks. I don't know.
But who are you predicting though?
I don't know who to predict.
Gotta predict somebody, bruh.
Well, none of us know, but that's sort of the idea with predictions: is you make your best guess.
I know. I don't even have a guess. Like, I
All
don't
right,
know.
who do you want to see, T Bates?
Who do I want to see?
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, I don't necessarily want to see anybody. 'Cause I don't know if anybody else is gonna be able to compete against Europe. So I don't understand. I just at that point, I just like, I
What do you
don't
think?
know.
We should just give those major spots to South America and Mina or something?
No.
South America's questionable right now.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to him then, Rob G. But also, I don't know. I like seeing offense. I like seeing confidence. So I guess I go Snowman for one of them. And then after that, I mean, LJ's just really that talented. So I just love seeing LJ on LAN. I really think he's just a world changer, world changer of a player on the field. And he just elevates everybody else, and the way he can just lead teams to victory. I like that. But I mean, I also I like OG style. I think it's like all 3 of the old heads just passing the ball around, playing solid core fundamental Rocket League. Don't even need to go for all the flipper sets because they're playing good. And the fact that they can compete at that level is great. I like OG style because they demo all the time. It's kind of fun to me. I like how they have a solid core game plan and it works out for them. But if I had to say, like, the 4 teams I want to see, well, not necessarily I want to see 4 teams that I guess would have to go with the 4 right now.
The same top 4.
Same top 4, but that's not saying much though. I really don't know how consistent Snowman's gonna be. I think they'd just be fun to watch if they played the same as they do online on LAN. I think or at least some resemblance of that. I think they'd be fun to watch. In terms of if any of the teams can compete against Europe and Mina Top and all that, they might be able to go game 5 with them like OG did with Vitality. They might be able to push them, but I don't think any of them are gonna beat them. So Gen.G G2.
Wait, Chrome, you said something. You said something about South America. I didn't catch it. What was it you said about South America right now?
I mean, Complexity losing to Secret.
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like there's no definitive top 2 teams in that region either. So I wouldn't say give them the spots.
Yeah, I
That's
wasn't.
as
I
bad as
wasn't. I
us right
wasn't
now.
serious. I don't want to take away any
just
of his
saying.
spots. It's okay.
No,
They
I'm
can
just
keep
saying
it.
it's like we're just as bad as them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Complexity didn't get they lost the secret 4-1 over in South America this weekend, which is a big upset because Complexity picked up Diaz,
Yep.
who's an incredible player. And, you'd think that would just cement them as the top 2 team in the region, but they lost 4-1 to Team Secret. That's Mota, Brad, and KV1. I mean, they're all LAN players from last season, but yeah, surprising result to see Complexity lose there. They've got some work to do over in South America if they're going to make it back. CRR, Raise Bull, and Diaz. Not the result that their fans were hoping for.
Yeah, you got AJG on crew. Also make a top 4 with Bims and Wisty. So it's
Mhm.
like AJG sitting there somewhere just watching all Complexity make all these changes. Like, really, dude? Really? We couldn't figure it out one shot. I don't know.
I still think they'll make it though. I still think Complexity will make it. I think they'll bounce back.
Rob G,
Yeah.
I back him.
I got a question. Speaking of the complexity stuff and AJG, do you think that the players should be how much of a say do you think the players should have in formulating these rosters?
I mean, they gave the thing is they gave it a shot for a whole season, right? And they thought they can replace AJG. That's fine. Like if they would have replaced him after one event or one regional or one major, then you can question their decisions. But it's not like they pulled an energy situation where they dropped Frosty before you even got to play, or a lot of these other teams. It didn't work. That when it came down, push come to shove, when they get to that game 7, they folded. When they missed open nets, it's just how it is. And maybe they thought, Dorito is the solution. Maybe they didn't even want Dorito at first. Maybe they wanted someone else and they couldn't get that someone else. There's a lot of factors to it.
How'd you avoid my question? That was a great politician. You answered something else. I said, how much power do you think the players need to have in making these decisions?
Depends on the players. Like I said, the thing about orgs and these type of teams is they give the power to the players and the coaches because they are pretty much hands off. They're not in the scrims. They're not in the involvement of the team. Maybe they should be. And for certain teams, especially like Dignitas, I don't know what's going on over there. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's up. The players feel like they're making the best decision. It's on them, and if it bites them in the butt, it bites them in the butt.
Who should make the decision then, if not the players? So I think the
Yeah,
players,
exactly.
the orgs don't really, for the most orgs don't really know enough to
Well, the
make
organization sounds
an
like they should be
informed
doing their
decision.
due diligence.
Yeah,
to
which
know
is
something.
probably in asking the players, what do you want? Are you
Ooh.
happy? Like, I think the orgs just ask the players, like, I mean, this isn't a massive, team. I doubt most orgs have got a huge team. I know some orgs do have, your squads behind the teams, people helping out and coaching and all that, multiple coaches, analysts, etc. But most orgs are just, taking it, like Chrome said, a hands-off approach, and this is management mostly. So yeah. Would it be better if they just hired a bunch of analysts and contracted a bunch of consultants? Yeah, that might help, but it would also be extremely expensive, and I don't think the investment is there. So it's probably just up to the players and the coaches to make the calls and to try and get the org to make the best decisions.
Two hands free. I think I must be working with Monopoly money. See, it's my money. I'm watching that like a hawk. I need more Jerry Jones situations. Jerry Jones and the Cowboy situations. I understand the Cowgirls can't win anything, but I tell you this, Jerry Jones knows what's going on with that team.
What does that mean for me as a European? What are we talking about? I don't know what that
Johnny,
means.
not my fault you live underneath the rock and you don't know who Jerry Jones is, but I'll explain it for you right now. Jerry Jones is the owner. He's the general manager. He might as well be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are the premier football team. They have been dubbed America's team by the people of America. And in saying that, he just knows every single person. He makes all the decisions. He cuts the checks. The people who cut the checks need to be very privy about what's going on. When I hire Coach Chrome, I'm trusting Coach Chrome to be to be the best coach possible. And if I'm making roster decisions, to me, I'm gonna weigh my roster decisions more so on. Nah, I guess you just got their Chromes. You're not good. You're not a good example. But if I'm, for example, Safdie's been there for the past like 2 years or something. G2. So if I'm making a roster change, if I'm a GM for G2, I'm really asking Matthew. Matthew's opinion might even mean more to me than the players, because Matthew's been looking at it from the outside looking in. He's the coach. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be impartial. And also as a general manager, I'm supposed to know what's going on as well. And if you're looking at a complexity squad, I don't know what type of decision, I don't know what the thought process was behind getting rid of AJG. You had good results. You were trending. Your trajectory was up. You were going up.
Yeah, but tough losses can kill a team, man. It happened to SSG when we
Then they
lost
need to grow up.
that kickoff to Moist at London. You know, that killed our team. To be blunt, like it just happens, you know.
Listen, then that means players need to grow up then. Otherwise, I don't need to be paying you.
And when you're playing for a lot of money, trust me, you're going to be feeling a certain type of way when you lose.
Listen, that's just life, though.
Yeah, exactly. Personalities get involved. That's just how it is.
Well, see, I don't know. The complexity
Cohesion is
situation is a bit of a weird one because they were they not? I can't remember if there was like a rumor or if it was public. I've totally honestly forgotten. But I don't remember if weren't they like trying to play in NA and they couldn't, so they had to go back to South America last minute.
Yeah,
Like
visa
I don't know.
issues.
Yeah.
with
Did
Dorito.
AJG want to go back to Sam or did he want to stay? Like what was this? I don't know all of the facts behind closed doors there. Don't know if he wanted to go home and they were like, well, we want to stay in NA, so they got a new player. Then suddenly they're in Sam again. I actually don't know.
No, I think
I
AG
don't
was
think
kicked by then.
so. He was already kicked. Is
Yeah.
that knowledge? But yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
the visa issue, because I think their manager tweeted something like they're having visa issues with Dorito and TR,
Right,
so they decided to
right.
go to Sam.
Right. Yeah. So it's a separate issue. Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't like the benching of AJG. I don't think it was warranted. But CRR and Dorito have had success with each other in the past. So maybe they're still. I assume that they were both still friends and they wanted to play together.
What success they had?
They'd have success.
They have no success.
No, they've played it for a long time on many different rosters.
And no
like
success.
going way back to RLCS season
I'm with
X.
teammates
Even.
on that one.
So
They had no
I mean,
success whatsoever.
when
And then
you
did you
come
see?
up, no, listen.
Let's just be real here, man. In
No,
the
like,
real world,
pause.
Johnny boy. No, let me go. In the real
No,
world,
you're skipping
Dorito,
ahead though.
no
I'm
way
telling you.
Dorito gets hired after that absolutely terrible performance he did that he put on display in San Diego. No way.
Listen, like.
That's like
No,
getting an F on an exam. You don't get hired after that.
No, can I just explain to you though, because you're skipping ahead here. Yes, I've just said, by the way, that I didn't like AJG being benched. I didn't like that decision. I was like, that's questionable. But when players come up together, when players play on a team way before they're in RLCS and they're on the come up together, there is always that desire, I think, for lots of players to just go back with their OGs and play with their OGs. Like Zen and Radosin, they played on a team together before before Zen was in RLCS. Like they were, switching. A lot of the French players way back in the day were switching teams, playing in the community tournaments, and then they end up on a world championship winning roster together, which is really cool to see. So they did. CRR and Dorito have played together on many different teams, and if CRR has convinced Complexity to pick up Dorito, I would assume that he really liked playing with Dorito in all the other teams that they played on, and the fact that Raze Bull is probably the best third that they have ever had probably also motivated them to think, you know what, maybe we could run this back with Raze Bull, best third we've ever had. Maybe we can go one better because they're not satisfied finishing, what was it, 9th at Worlds. Ultimately, they did get 9th at Worlds and like 7th at Boston. So yeah, they looked like they were in the uptrend, but they're still not winning though. They're not beating the big teams in EU. So yeah, it's not completely outrageous to bench someone in complexity situation. I don't think.
You're nicer than me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, did they win? They didn't win.
Everybody can't win.
Yeah, nobody even looked close to the top 4 in EU last season. The top 4 in EU were just a level above, and I think complexity they had their moments. They had their moments, and but yeah, I could see why they would look at Vitality and think, well, that team is dominating a region who's dominating the world. We need to change something up if we want to get to that level. Like I could see any team in the world outside of apart from Vitality last season thinking we need to switch something up. And actually, pretty much every team did switch something up because everybody saw Vitality as this level above. So did I like seeing AJG bench? No. Is making a roster change outrageous? I'd also say no. I think is feasible, and maybe they tried him out and it went really, really well. Who knows?
That'll happen too sometimes. The tryout warriors.
Yeah, the tryout will go like really well. They'll 7-0 like a really good team in scrims. I think, yep, this is the roster. Let's pick him up. And then it doesn't pan out that way in actual competition. But yeah, it's I think if it had worked, if Complexity were just number 1 in SAM and they were the best team in SAM, everybody would be like, wow, that's genius. They picked up Dorito and Now they're on top. The CRR Dorito reunion, but it didn't go that way. So everybody's saying, "Yep, they should never have benched him." But I don't think you can be that results based when it comes to roster changes.
Well, I
'Cause
don't know. I think a lot
at
of
the time, I'm sure it seemed like a really good idea to them. Didn't pan
yeah
out,
to
but
them,
hey.
but everybody else that was criticized when they picked up Dorito initially. There were a lot of people that were like, "Why would you make this move?"
Yeah,
It
it
just
didn't make a lot of sense. It seemed like a downgrade. They clearly knew something or they thought they knew something that we didn't. The rest of the world who don't know what's going on behind the scenes with rosters. We don't know how personnel are interacting. We don't know all the conversations that happened, all the
right.
practice matches that happened. But knowing what they knew, could it have been a good decision? Probably, probably. But no, it didn't work out. They finished second in Sam, and now they're on a downward trend, picking up Diaz. So.
Yeah, downward trend,
CRR
but
does make a lot of roster changes. Though. CRR does like to bench people. he's made a lot of changes. He's famously benched some players who've then gone on to beat him, such as Nolly. So yeah, maybe in CRR's case he needs to stick and try and work on what he's got work with what he's got.
they've got time, and they are not behind too bad in the major race compared to Rule 1. Not only
Mhm.
that, they're also not in a bad spot in the world's conversation. They're sitting 20 or 19 points above Ninjas in Pajamas. And the Team Secret is under them. Complexity has 57 points, Secret has 34. So they're not too much at risk of losing their world spot. There is still plenty of time for them to figure it out and come back stronger. But they have 2 chances online, and then there's the major. Depends on if they go to the major or not. And then there's a big break between the major and the world championship. And who knows how that'll affect things too. So keep eyes on complexity. Sam is really good. I agree. I mean, Fury has always been super solid. Uh I just don't know. It's just trying to see that consistency. Is Team Secret the real deal? Could Crew make a run? Could Complexity figure things out, get back in form? We'll have to see. But it has been competitive in Sam all season long. I think it'll continue to be. That being said, my top 4 is the top 4 that we have now. Although I don't know. I'm a little iffy on the right now of LG. I don't like Luminosity getting written off. Just kind of come back to our original conversation. I think for Luminosity, if Cheese first land, I think had a big impact on them. If they get back to it, I think they'll do better. But that's just my initial thoughts. I think seeing Snowmen would be a good breath of fresh air, especially if they can continue to do it on land. But I think SSG is in that top conversation. I think SSG can take games off you. I want to see them there. I want to see them continue to do so. Chicago, Hoxer, LJ have all been at lands, have all been at world championships. They know what that area is like. And I think that especially when they're more comfortable and confident, they'll perform. So
I don't know. Are you not a bit worried about Luminosity losing to Nether Americanada?
oh
And
yeah,
then
no, I definitely I
Canada.
am.
Nether
I,
America, Canada.
Nether
Canada.
Americanada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nether
Pardon.
Canada.
I sorry, I enunciated the wrong.
Canada.
Yeah, the wrong syllable there. I don't know. I'm pretty worried about them because they went 3-2 in Swiss every single time last split. They they scraped into playoffs a couple times and they got one deep run from I think a bit of an easy bracket. So I mean, I already thought that they were like a pretty unsafe top 4. Now they're starting the race from behind, pretty far behind actually, with Snowmen and Space Station getting 12 points from this first event. Luminosity have got 6, so they've got a lot of ground to make up there. You got to make a top 4 at some point, you'd think, if you're gonna catch up all that way.
That's true. But it's that consistency. I think it's the fact that they've always gone to round 5 in Swiss.
But it's consistently mediocre though. It's not consistently good. They're consistently going 3-2, which is not a good thing. That's not where top 4 teams are. Top 4 teams in Swiss are 3-1 and 3-0. So they're consistently below top 4 in Swiss. It's not good when you're trying to make top 4 in events.
Yeah, it's a bad start. It's a bad start, but I still got faith. I still have faith
I don't.
that they can turn
I'm a
it
hater.
around.
I'm a hater. I'm gonna like own it. Yeah, I don't have faith in them. I think that they're in trouble. Big trouble.
I don't know. I think I would rather see LG or Snowmen than OG. I think, and it's no like disrespect to the players, but it was just LG. And there's not really a big sample size. The only sample size we have is a comparison between Vitality. One team got swept, the other one went 5, and then they both played head to head. So I would think for me, OG would have to look really dominant in these next two for me to want them to be there. They would have to basically have like an SSG-esque type of event where they go long against a top 2 team or top 3 team, and then they can kind of show that they can stand up there. But I mean, that 4th spot is rough. I just want the best team to be there at the end of the day. So
Are we also gonna touch on EU5 making major this time around as well? The EU we got their spot back, the 5th major spot. And I'm not personally a fan of it. I think they should have just kept it as 4 EU spots at this major. You guys didn't hear about this?
He's talking about
You did?
SSA.
Yeah, they gave they gave
Oh.
EU their 5th spot back. So
My boy VK Salen.
BK sailing. bro.
Listen,
Nah,
might be
yeah, I can't
talking
really
for, like,
listen.
FTF
Like, I met
yards
VK
from-
Salen, he's a nice guy, but like you can't be tweeting out that you're the 10th player to win in 2 regions as if that's like, you know,
a
getting added
flex.
to, like, a
That's
list.
not a flex, bro.
This is like the worst tweet I've ever seen, bro. Delete that.
I
What
did
are you
not
doing?
see that. That's funny.
Yeah, he's the 10th player to win a regional in 2 regions. I'm like, nah, come on. Come on now.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for today.
What a note.
on that note,
On that note.
that's all the time we have for today. Chrome, Johnny, thank you guys so much for being here on First Touch. Of course, we appreciate you guys always for coming on, and yeah, just thank you for taking time out of your day to come and chat with us. We appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
guys.
having me.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course, Raul Bates. Thank you guys for doing what you guys do every week. Same thing for the First Touch crew behind the scenes, making the show happen week in and week out. Europe is this weekend, as well as APAC and OCE. So you're going to want to make sure you guys are locked in for that. And of course, all the matches are going to be played for Europe on twitch.tv/Rocket League. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll see how things shape up when we come back here next week on First Touch. But that's going to be it for us today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is First Touch. We'll see you guys on the next time. 1, 2, toodaloo.